You know, Owen, I have a serious question.
What's that?
What the fuck has happened to our society? Genuine question.
It's going down the shitter, man.
Yeah, not shitting. People act like they're journalists and then get offended because people talk about how much of an idiot he is for even having the opinion in the first place. And then you have another guy trying to trademark a fucking phrase. Social media garbage, man, I tell you.
Think about it. It probably would have been so much easier to be a wrestling fan before the social media was a thing.
It was. It was.
Yeah.
This is the Wrestling Rundown, ladies and gentlemen. I am James Hebert, and I have to rant about a couple things before we get to... Well, we're probably going to rant about a few things, but the first thing we need to rant about...
Well, I'm on the Birdman Finch, just so that way people know. So
yeah, there you go. He's the host of this thing, but I'm taking over because I got to rant. Because I'm none too pleased. Now, with Ric Flair, we'll start with him first. I respect Flair as he's a legend in this business. He has done it all. He is a 24-time world champion, because that's the real number, ladies and gentlemen. And he has given so much to this business that words are beyond gratitude when it comes to that. That being said,
and he's also probably one of the best in-ring workers.
In-ring workers of all time, yes. So for all that, he gets a thumbs up on my view. But sometimes I think people get lost in the fact that they are legends and that they have all this money because they are legends. And because of that, they do not see how stupid that said person can be. And whether you'll respect him as a legend or you don't, the fact of the matter is, Ric Flair is a fucking idiot. For those who don't know the story, Ric Flair is now against WWE and trying to sue them for trademark the Man. He's trying to trademark the Man nickname because he feels like it belongs to him because he used it a lot. Even though a lot of the times when he used it, it was in, sentences. And he never used it as a legitimate nickname. And there is no proof throughout his entire history in WCW, NWA, or otherwise where he uses the fucking nickname, The Man. As far as that goes, legally, Becky Lynch was the first one to use the actual nickname on writing, The Man.
Actually, no, Seth Rollins, right?
No, not even Seth. It was Becky first, and then it was Seth, I believe. Because his was the Man's Man, I guess, which was stupid anyway, but that's a whole different argument. Normally, I wouldn't defend WWE in this situation. Because to Flair's credit, they have stolen a lot of shit. However, this was not an original thing. This has been used for fucking years. You can trace it all the way back to frickin' Mean Gene Okerlund, God rest his soul, saying, the man, the myth, the legend, anytime he would kind of interview somebody that was of high importance in the WWF. You could go back to when superstar Billy Graham was using it in his promos, calling himself the Man. You can go all the way back to the original fucking Nature Boy, Buddy Rogers, using it in his promos. This is not a new phenomenon in wrestling, nor is it, a new phenomena in life. You know how many times I've used, hey man, or how's it going, man, or you the man? You know how many times I use the man in a sentence? You know how many times the world has probably use the term "the man" in a sentence. It's fucking retarded that Flair's trying to sue for this, and there's only 3 logical reasons why he's doing that. One, his wife's about to fucking leave him because he can't pay his fucking rent again because he's too busy buying everybody fucking drinks again. So he needs some money to fucking balance it out so she'll stay. 2, his wife is like, you can't spend money on getting alcohol and you should save that. And if you want money, you have to find another way to get it. Or 3, he's just gone full on fucking senile. And he's losing his cotton picking mind.
Yeah.
So, this guy, I've never, like, could you imagine if this actually wins? And if it does, fuck you. I'm gonna call myself the man. I will use that trademark until I get a fucking cease and desist letter, you fucking moron.
You kind of do, because you're the Heat man, so...
Yeah. So, what? Is that going to be fucking trademark because it has the man in the Heat man?
Yeah.
And even then, do you see me trademarking the fucking Heat man?
Yeah.
Like, for fuck's sake, man. Like...
I mean, I'm just going to say this, too. Like, Ric Flair should know this better than anybody. Wrestling is a copycat business to begin with.
It's always been a copycat business. Your gimmick is literally from Buddy Rogers. Carbon copy. Did his family fucking sue you? Did the Rogers go up to you and be like, hey, you shouldn't use that because that's ours? Fuck no. They didn't give a shit. So why the hell are you?
Yeah.
Why are you giving so much attention to a fucking phrase that every common people use? Everyday common people use that fucking phrase, the man. In some way or another. You the man. How's it going, my man? I could name full-on sentences that have the man in it. There are school books that I guarantee you that have the man has a book on the shelf. Or the man decided to buy some lunch. The man decided to walk his dog. What, you're gonna sue them too? You fucking idiot. Like, this is as bad as when the Fine Brothers from, like, years ago tried to trademark the word react. That is the equivalent of this. It's a fucking phrase. Everybody fucking uses it. And if this fucking gets trademarked, a bunch of legends are gonna abuse the fuck out of this system. And you know what? Fuck you. I ain't standing for it. I stand by Becky Lynch. I stand by WWN. Fuck Ric Flair on this particular issue. He has no case here. He absolutely has no case. And the courts will prove that he absolutely has no case. It's not even close. Because if he's going to sue Becky Lynch, he's going to have to sue like a bunch of other fucking book publishers, a bunch of other fucking educational systems all over the fucking globe. He's going to have to sue pretty much, I would say, about 4 billion people.
Yeah. Well, since we're on rants, I'll do mine now, just to get it out of the way. It's on Dave Meltzer, because he was an idiot last weekend.
Yeah, anybody that takes that dude seriously after the fucking bullshit he said is out of their fucking mind now. I'm sorry. John can say whatever the fuck they want. You're just wrong after that. Like, he has lost all credibility by showing how much of an ass kisser he was to the Young Bucks. It was so stupid what he said.
First. So he said that the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Bros from All Out should have been the main event because it was the match of the night. Like, Heyman Page and Chris Jericho would have had to had the best matches of their careers for it to close. So let me say this. Dave Meltzer has a point because, he talked about, because we could use the whole WrestleMania 25, 18, and all that analogy.
I'll tell you what. I'll stop you right there. He doesn't have a point. I'll tell you why he doesn't have a fucking point. All right? If he were to go and say, I think that match hurt the structure of the main event, that is a valid argument.
Yeah.
If they put it in the middle of the show, maybe sure, I could see where you're coming from. Absolutely, 100% valid critique.
But yeah, here's the point. It wasn't that critique. So, James, let's just say at at Immortal, you main evented Sean Maverick and Azam over Michael X and what's his name again?
Fucking Azam. Or no, Michael X and Mark Young.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be stupid. You know, a tournament that you built up for months and months and months to crown the first world champion, and you didn't put it on the main event. That would have been stupid.
It would have been. And we deserve to get crucified for it and not be taken seriously at that point.
Yeah. Let's also talk about OTR Central brought up this point. It wasn't even for their tag team championships.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't. That's the worst part of it. He said that the AAA tag team titles, a whole other company, should main event an AEW show when they're trying to get off the ground.
Yeah.
I know I say this as a joke a lot, but Dave, are you actually fucking retarded? Because I'm scared if you ever decide to run an actual wrestling business. That is a dumbass fucking quote. And by the way, it's not like he said this and then backtracked. He doubled fucking down. He wouldn't back off on this point. Like he thought he had a valid criticism. When anybody with a fucking brain and that has fucking eyes was calling him a fucking idiot for it.
Yeah.
As they should, by the way. Why the hell, for your first world championship match, to crown your first ever world champion with quite arguably the biggest star that you have in the show, ever take a back seat to the Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers for an entirely different promotion's titles?
It's stupid. Like...
And he thinks he has a valid point, and he's sticking with it. Guess what, Meltzer? What I said about you with Omega and Okada, I guess it actually does fucking reign true. That you have lost all credibility. And if it wasn't fucking true back then, it damn sure is now. You have absolutely no credibility as a journalist. You have no credibility in match ratings at all, period. End of fucking story. As far as I'm concerned, the Wrestling Observer is this, a work. I rest my fucking case, idiot.
That was dumb.
Fucking moron. And I know your fucking boys, Brian and Vinny and Craig, they can't fucking say that you're a fucking idiot. I fucking will. Because you're a fucking moron for ever suggesting that another company's title should go over the world championship. In normal circumstances, you may have had a legitimate argument if it was like their tag team titles. But this is a whole nother company, and they haven't even had their first world championship yet. Period. End of fucking story. You thought that they should main event because you're butt buddies with Matt and Nick Jackson, and who, by the way, would probably disagree with you.
I mean, clearly they did.
You know why? Because if they actually agreed with you, they would have been the main event, because they would have thought selfishly. Guess what? They fucking didn't. Neither did Kenny Omega. If anything, Kenny Omega was too selfless because he put himself second match on the card. Had it not been for the talent, like, still proving people wrong, especially Evil Uno, and then you had that women's match, that Joshi women's match that was actually surprisingly good, I don't think anybody could have ever actually recovered from an awesome Pac versus Neville match. Pac versus Omega match. I think he was too selfless still in that sense.
Yeah.
So clearly they don't agree with you. Clearly Cody wouldn't agree with you. Nobody fucking agrees with you on this, Meltzer. Stop it. And anybody that is telling you they do are fucking lying to themselves. Because they know in their fucking heart of hearts and the back of their fucking heads that they would not put another company's world title or tag titles or cruiserweight title or any kind of title in the main event over the fucking world title that they still have to crown on that very same show. Nobody in their right mind would do that. Unless, of course, you're a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
And apparently Dave Meltzer is how old is he now? A 50-year-old man. I'll just say roughly a 50-year-old man with a 7-year-old mindset. Chatting shit. Fuck off.
Yeah, it was bad. Now we get to rant some. Now we get to rant some more. Like, we can't get out of the ranting business. NXT UK.
I'm the best at it. I don't give a shit.
Because
I'll tell the fucking truth. We'll tell the truth. Unlike these fucking other idiots that won't be telling the fucking truth and will just be going through. And by the way, everyone's going to be like, well, you have biases clearly because you liked AEW All Out more than you did Cardiff. So why can't Dave Meltzer have his biases with people and with other companies? Because I'm a fair fucking man. There's a fucking difference. I ain't getting paid by AEW. I ain't get paid for shit for what I say. I just say it because I actually fucking genuinely feel it. I thought TakeOver Cardiff was garbage. And I thought All Out was spectacular. I was proven wrong on other things, and I was beyond satisfied.
Yeah. So let's talk about NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff. Before we break down the show, let's put this in everyone's mind. Literally, the NXT, the USA NXT before that show, we gave an S rate, an S
It
letter.
Was amazing. It's still the best NXT they ever did.
And then this
the best NXT they ever did. It may be the most historic NXT TV they ever did.
And then this week's NXT was actually great. It was great stuff. Like,
it was great stuff. Of course it was. It wasn't S rank, but it was still great. I still enjoyed it.
NXT UK's Go Home show that we thought was underwhelming was even better than what we saw on last Saturday. Like,
yeah, that was like a B rating, I think.
Yeah. So let's
B
talk
plus, something of that nature, and then Cardiff happens.
So let's talk about Cardiff. Pre-show panel was Vic Joseph, Nigel McGuinness, and Aiden English. We should have known the problem when they decided not to put Aiden English on the commentary booth.
That was so fucking stupid. You had the two commentators there, too, and I was like, wow, we might actually get Aiden English on commentary. Nope! Thanks a lot, you fucking cock teases.
Yeah, you wasted his money, you wasted his time, and you wasted,
I don't understand. Like, because it's not like Aiden's doing much other than 205 right now and house shows.
Yeah.
Why can't you just have him commentate NXT UK? Or at the very, preferably after this abysmal show, NXT.
Yeah.
In Beth Phoenix's place. Because not that Beth Phoenix is bad, by the way. I just think that if you want different commentators for both Raw and SmackDown, you should probably send her up to the main roster anyway, and then you got Aiden English to fill her bubble.
Yeah.
But,
It's especially, too, because, he was there. He was at the show live, and he wouldn't commentate.
So fucking dumb, man. It's so dumb.
Yeah. But,
and for some reason, by the way, and everyone's like, and another thing that I've noticed, and I'm sorry, I have to call out people when I hear this. Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness are the best commentary team in WWE right now, and it's not even close. Now that biased opinion was actually by Big Vinny V from the Wrestling Observer newsletter as well. Now everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and I probably should have started out that way. However, if the opinion's a bit much, you're going to be called out on it. Now, this was not really super bad, because it's not like Vic Joseph's a bad commentator. But really? Over Morrow and Nigel and Beth even? You're saying this is the better team? I don't know. Maybe it's because it's the two-man booth system as opposed to the three-person booth. But I still think that's irrelevant.
I even think Vic, Nigel, and Aiden are a better commentary team booth.
Yeah, I do. Like, I do not think it makes a hell of a lot of sense to say that. Essentially, I don't understand that. Like, you can't just toss Morrow to the wayside like that. Like, Morrow, Nigel, and Beth are the best commentary team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There's nobody close because it's Morrow. And Morrow and Nigel work so well off. They work so well off each other that anybody that's paired up with them is automatically going to get better anyway. Look at Percy Watson. He was a nobody when he showed up in an NXT. And because he was under the learning tree of Nigel and Morrow, the dude instantly got better. And even if he didn't get, like, better and he was only satisfactory, he sounded a lot better than he was because he was with Mauro Ranallo and Nigel McGuinness.
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, like, Vic Joseph is like a main roster Michael Cole. He's not bad. He doesn't do half the stupid shit main roster Michael Cole does, because there's a difference. There's a difference between main roster Michael Cole and, you know, network special Michael Cole, tournament Michael Cole, calling it like it's a freaking NBA basketball game, whatever. You know,
I think he's just,
there's differences, but Vic, when I think of great commentary teams, Vic Joseph's nowhere on that list.
No.
Not even of the current landscape of all the promotions in wrestling right now. He's nowhere close on that list.
Yeah.
He might be like top 30, maybe by default, but like he ain't like. This guy ain't the number one. He's not number one commentary team with Nigel. Nigel works so much better than with Morrow. It's not even close.
Yeah.
And again, it probably has a lot to do with the two-man booth system that a lot of people prefer, but I still don't think it's a legit argument. If you have a certain system and you can still make it work, then there is no excuse. Look at WYW. I ain't saying we're the best, but we do. I think we probably have the best three-man booth other than Morrow, Nigel, and Beth, because we're bouncing off each other and we know what's going on and we're in the loop. Obviously, it helps that you booked the show also, but still, like, it's you know, if you have that kind of commentary team, that's automatically the best. And Vic, I'm not saying he's terrible. He definitely isn't. I much prefer him than, you know, main roster Michael Cole. But he wasn't the best. Like, you could literally put Aiden English in his place tomorrow and no one would bat an eye.
I wouldn't.
No one would bat an eye. If anything, it'd be like music to their ears.
Yeah.
So, that being said, continue.
So, yeah, we had the dog matches. It was, by the way, with you know, All Out and, you know, NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff, we're not going to break down the matches move for move since we did the live reactions on James' channel. There's really no point. So.
Which you can check out. We will have to review the first two matches, I think, just because my OBS was being a little shit as usual. So
okay, well,
but otherwise you can watch the rest of it on my channel.
So starting with Rhea Ripley versus Piper Niven. This match actually was good. You know, this was, I think, the blow-off.
I haven't watched it. All I know is Rhea Ripley went over, and that was like the one good decision on this fucking abysmal show. Yeah,
Rhea Ripley, you know, won with the Riptide. The match was actually good. You know, I actually thought it was quite good. I don't know why this wasn't on the TakeOver show. It definitely deserved to be on there more than Noam Dar and Travis Banks, but
it deserved it so much more. It's not even close.
Yeah,
they were actually building this on one of the go home shows, and then they put this on the freaking dark match spot, which I think is stupid.
But this was still good. I give it 3 stars. Rhea Ripley winning makes sense since she's facing Shayna Baszler like literally this Wednesday on NXT, so it makes sense for her to win. Yeah. So there you go. Then backstage, Sid Scala gets interviewed, and we find out that Gentleman Jack Gallagher isn't medically cleared to wrestle. So he actually, James, I kind of screwed you over in the predictions because you would have tied with Noah had, you know, Gentleman Jack Gallagher wrestled, but you know, whatever.
Wait, so what happened? So, what happened? He's not there for what? For what? Because I saw there was a different person fighting him
Well,
now.
on 205, they've been doing a storyline where I don't know if he got hurt or something, but like where he hasn't been medically cleared to wrestle because he was supposed to wrestle on that show and then he didn't.
Oh,
So
jeez.
yeah, which is weird. Why would you advertise that match if
I didn't know that. So now that you said that, continue because I gotta check. I gotta check my rankings for Indie Force now, knowing that information.
So Sid Scott. So Cassius Ohno pops up and says that he's gonna go to the ring right now, and you better find someone to wrestle the British wrestling genius. And Johnny Saint comes up, and whispers something into Sid Scala's ear, and then we had Cassius Ohno versus a mystery opponent, and the mystery opponent was Sid Scala, which was a cool pop. But
wait, the GM?
Yeah, well, he's actually a wrestler in real life, so.
Okay. Knowing that, I'm not going to critique his ability. I don't think this has anything to do with that. And it's good for Sid Scala. I didn't know he was a wrestler prior to this. Therein lies the fucking problem and the night and day difference between UK and regular NXT. Why wasn't this explained before? Because it was not explained at all when he took the freaking assistant general manager position. At all.
I mean, he wrestled a few matches like on UK, but you didn't really remember they didn't really tell you like anything more about it. So he came out in a suit.
I didn't even know he wrestled on UK because I'm so far out of the loop because I have a life and I can't watch UK at like 3.
Yeah.
I'm busy by that point. Fuck me.
Sid Scala does the best he can to out-wrestle Cassius Ohno, but because, there's a height and a weight difference, Sid Scala...
No shit.
So Cassius Ohno, this made no sense. Why was Cassius Ohno working over Sid Scala's leg? That kind of made no sense, considering the fact that, Sid Scala's smaller than him, so that didn't really make any sense.
How long did the match go? Do you, roughly...
Like 11 minutes.
This should have been cut down to like 7:50.
Yeah.
Should have been a fucking cyclone boot and a fucking roaring elbow, and that should have been it.
And
normally I would not recommend fucking Cassius Ohno go over anybody, but in this particular case, I actually agree with that decision, knowing that now. But still, fuck.
Sid Scala gets a few surprise roll-ups. Didn't quite get the win.
Why are they doing this whole thing? Is Gallagher injured or no?
He's scheduled to wrestle this week on 205 in Madison Square Garden. So.
And they couldn't have him be at UK Takeover Cardiff Y again?
They didn't. I don't know. They didn't say. So.
Oh, for fuck's sake! This company, this fucking brand's a mess.
Yeah, but I did like the neck breaker. Over the turnbuckle that Sid Scala hit on Ohno, that was cool. And then eventually Cassius Ohno hits the Warren elbow for the win. The match was 2 stars. It was filler. Really wasn't anything special. So now let's get to the stuff that you actually saw. I don't really remember a lot of the Noam Dar.
Well, because we had to deal with a lot of the technical issues. I watched the matches back. They were fine matches, the first 2.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the first match with Noam Dar and Banks. It was a great match, but
very good, yeah.
It's just it's killed because the wrong guy goes over in this case.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Noam Dar really didn't need to win. He just didn't. Honest to God, you could right now. You could team him up with Jordan Devlin. He'd be doing something right now. I don't know why he's in a singles position. It has not worked out for him before. It still won't work out for him later on. Honest to God, I don't know why they insist on still pushing him when you don't know what to do with him as a single star.
This is who you're talking about, Banks or no?
This is Dar.
Yeah.
Banks has something, and they're squandering him.
Yeah. Because every time
Banks actually has promo ability. The
Yeah.
guy has a fucking great look to him. The guy has a cool like nickname. I mean, if you think Kiwis are cool, I guess.
Yeah.
And
I'll
you know,
just say
he looks like a badass
yeah.
when he walks into that ring. He looks like a freaking New Zealand Taz.
I'm gonna
And
say this.
instead of booking him that way, like
Yeah.
they did in Defiant and WCPW, you book him like he's a fucking glorified jobber.
I'm
You
gonna say
book him
this
like
though,
he's the Dolph Ziggler of NXT UK, and he should not be booked that way.
yeah. I'll say this, like, the Travis Banks we've seen in NXT UK is a different Travis Banks than we saw in the tournament. Like,
And it's like this guy gets fucking assaulted. He got assaulted in the semifinals. He got assaulted before UK Takeover Blackpool, and now he can't even get a win on the very first takeover he's fucking appeared in.
yeah, stupid.
And unless they're turning him heel and saying fuck all this and just annihilating people and getting the belt somehow, or getting a mid-card championship out of this, because you're going to have to bring one in at some point, then what the fuck's the point of this?
Yeah.
Honestly, God, what is the point of this? It makes no fucking sense. The guy never should have lost. This guy should have been pinning Dar's fucking shoulders to the mat after the fucking slice of heaven. Like, there's no excuse on why Banks shouldn't have not won this match. Still a fine match, but the finish just ruined it for me, and I could care less.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3.
I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3 just because of the work rate. Otherwise, this would be way lower because of the finish.
Yeah, I'll give it 3. Then we had a great match. I'll talk about this one. Cesaro versus Ilya Dragunov. Cesaro earlier in the day had issued an open challenge. Ilya Dragunov backstage accepted. I will say, one critique is this would have been so much better if Ilya Dragunov was still undefeated, though.
Yeah, it's not even the fact that you had Cassius Ohno beat him. Now you have Cesaro beat him, and that screams bad omen to me, because I don't want to see the Kings of Wrestling in Chris Hero's current state. I just don't want to see it.
Yeah.
And
this match, though, was great. I really love the exchanges of uppercuts back and forth. I love when Ilya Dragunov did like the Russian "come fight me" symbol or stance. Cesaro just took him out with an uppercut. That was pretty goddamn awesome. And he took control for a bit. He slingshot him throat first into the ropes. He teased going for the swing the first time, but didn't. But then when he did it like 40 times. That was impressive. He did a gorilla press into like a knee to the head. That was pretty damn cool. Then Dragunov did the 6-1 line, the suicide dive on the outside.
I will say that's the one move that he needs to get down better.
Yeah.
Because it's a cool, innovative move, but the problem is when he does the 619 spin, like the Tiger Feint kick spin, he doesn't get enough momentum doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he does not get nearly enough momentum to do it. Like, especially for a guy his size. And let's not kid ourselves. Ilya Dragunov's a small motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, this guy should have fucking speed along with his hits, and that guy had no speed with that particular move. If you can't do it, then do a different kind of variation of the clothesline, because it's just way too slow when he does the Tiger Feint kick.
And then Ilya Dragunov did the Death Valley driver into the turnbuckles, hit the senton, didn't get the win, but then eventually Cesaro hits a wicked uppercut, and then he hits the neutralizer for the win. And then afterwards, he comes back and pays respect. This match was great, though. I give it 4. Again, the only critique, though, is if Cesaro's not staying in UK, he should have put him over. Like, there was really no reason for Cesaro to win. So, unless he was going to stay in NXT UK. And I'm even more pissed off about this now because obviously you didn't see Raw this week. When you saw Raw, Cesaro basically was just kind of treated back to the same way he was, where he lost,
fucking morons. Yeah, see. So he's a geek over in the main roster, but the C-level fucking guy who can only be relied upon on a tag team kayfabe-wise, which the guy should be world champ. Yeah. But that's a whole different argument. But he goes there, and then he beats this guy, And already that gives me, and not only does that give me fear about UK, I mean, it already did, but now I'm like thinking to myself, oh God, what's going to happen on fucking NXT on USA?
Yeah.
Is this going to be a regular thing where main roster stars just come out of fucking nowhere and beat these guys with no fucking payoff? And then they just go back to Raw like nothing happened?
Yeah.
Because that's what happened. Fuck out of here, man. This was so stupid. And, like, it was one thing when it was Jordan Devlin and Finn Balor, because that was a shock, and you can get away with that in the kayfabe sense. There's no way you can get away with this.
Well, especially, too, because...
There's no fucking way. Cesaro announced his showing up at UK ahead of time.
Yeah. Especially, too, though, with the thing with Finn Balor, too, like, he at least, like, went on the main roster and looked strong. He won that four-way match to face Brock Lesnar.
And took Brock Lesnar to a fucking match of one of the best matches of his career.
Yeah.
And then, fuck me, this fucking company just unless you're bringing them there to stay in the fucking brand, don't bring them there at all because we know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And I don't want to fucking see it.
Yeah.
Let me make it very fucking clear. Okay, and I'm gonna put my microphone very close to this so that everybody in WWE can hear. This isn't FCW anymore.
Here you go. So then I'm gonna leave the next two matches for you to talk about because I think it pissed you off more than any. You know what the next two matches are, so.
We're gonna start with the first one. Actually, it was the three matches.
Oh, we can't hear you. We can't really hear you now.
You forget there was a third one.
Well, yeah, but
I'm
gonna talk about
that. And I'll tell you, had it not been for the second match, the third one would have gravely offended me too. In fact, all three matches offended me. Now, first,
I'm gonna talk about the third one though, but I know the first two like really pissed you off. I know that. So
here is the first match. The triple threat tag match. Gallus versus Welsh Boys versus Grizzled Young Veterans. So, the match was great. It was perfect. I damn near say it was even getting up there to be one of the best tag matches of all year.
I want to say one thing. If you're going to do a triple threat tag, make it Tornado. I'm going to say that every time they do one. So
yeah, that's just stupid. Yeah, every triple threat tag should automatically be Tornado.
Yeah.
That being said, that knocks it down a half star. Then the fact that they hit the first three near falls for the Welsh Boys were fucking ridiculous enough. But then you at least had people factoring into to why those falls didn't happen. And Gallus was looking all right. And I would think, okay, if you're going to have the Welsh Boys win, fine. But the way they did it was so bad. And I fucking despise this finish. And quote me for you fucking UK fanboys out there. I despised this finish. Because after all these tag team maneuvers that were outstandingly good by all three teams, they decided to end it with this finishing sequence. The Welsh Boys hit Tope Suicidas on the fucking Gallus, and then Gallus was just out of there, and they sold it like it was death, and you didn't see him for the rest of the fucking match. And then, after a freaking looked like he was gonna hit, Zach Gibson was gonna hit his finisher, Mark Andrews hits his fucking Stun Dog Millionaire, and then freaking James Drake was about to hit something, and then he hits it, I think. I don't even remember the move. All I remember is one of the guys was pinning him, and then Mark Andrews hits a shooting star press.
Oh, it was Ticket to Ride, the Grizzled Young Veterans finish.
Yeah, right. Ticket to Ride. I believe they did hit it.
They did, yeah.
And then They hit a shooting star press. And then, because I feel like, did they hold back Drake, or was Drake just down? And then he came back, tried to come back at the clutch when he realized his partner was about to die.
They pulled him out of the ring and threw him back first into the barricade or something.
Who specifically?
Flash Morgan Webster. No, Mark Andrews. I think he did a dive or something.
Right. Yeah, it was Flash Morgan Webster. So, or somebody, or no, it was Mark Andrews. Andrews takes out Drake, and then when Gibson goes for the cover, Andrews is no-selling his injuries and then hits a shooting star press, which crushes Zach Gibson on his own tag partner, and then pins him. And wins the belts. And everyone's well, they should have won the fucking finish. It was their hometown. That's fine. But if you're going to do it, have it end with one of those outstanding tag finishers, or whatever that they fucking hit, and have Gallus factor into the finish. They were completely dead after Tope Suicidas, and then you didn't see them for the last 2.5 minutes of the matchup. And also, they sold it like they were dead.
Also, this too, it just felt like they just did it because it was the hometown. They didn't build up Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews at all to even win the championships. They
treated them like they treat Johnny Gargano. It made no sense. Gargano was in NXT for years before he got his crowning moment. The way that they gave him his crowning moment. These guys have been a fucking makeshift team, and nobody seems to realize that. They're a makeshift team here that have been around for the equivalent of a fucking cup of coffee compared to Johnny Gargano.
Yeah.
Are you all mad?
Especially
Are you dumb? Are you daft?
Those are young veterans who have been champions for months, lost the tag team titles to a
makeshift tag team. And granted, yes, they're also a makeshift tag team. And maybe you can make a bigger argument that maybe Mustache Mountain should have been the first champs. You may actually have a point, especially with Imperium being made. But at least Gibson was over, and at least Gibson was a heel. These are baby faces!
Yeah. Also, too,
I hated this finish.
Those are young veterans.
I hated this finish so fucking bad. This was the worst finish of the weekend.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. The next match is. But this match is 3 stars just because of the work.
I'm sorry. It would have been. It would have been if they fucking finished it with one of those tag team finishers and Gallus factored into the finish somehow, even if they got taken out. I could at least legitimately buy that. And you want to know what's infuriating about this more than anything, Owen? They literally had a triple threat match not even 2 weeks prior to this on NXT TakeOver with Pete Dunne, Velveteen Dream, and Roderick Strong. All you would have had to do was copy that finish.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
all you would have had to do. What the fuck? I hated this. I hated this finish. Chris and I were almost walked out and didn't even want to watch the fucking show anymore. It was that bad. You can watch the reaction for yourself. We hated this finish. And no, it's not because a lot of us picked Gallus. It was because the way they fucking finished the matchup was so dumb. A fucking shooting star press. I get his back was a little bit elevated. That's not enough to fucking pin his shoulders to the mat. It's not like he hit him in the upper back portion. He hit him in the spine.
Yeah, exactly. But then...
And he sold it like he was dead. But the other fucking tag team maneuvers didn't finish this match. Oh, and it felt like, honest to God, it felt like a spot fest for the sake of doing spots. And for that reason alone, it's got to be a 3.
Yeah.
Because the work rate was too hard to not rate it that rating. But it would have been like a 4.5.
Yeah. We should also say
fucking finish.
We should also say too, Mark Andrews also did a shooting star press outside the ring that was more devastating than the one he did in
way more devastating. It's not even fucking close, dude.
Yeah.
Hell, if you wanted to do a thing where freaking Flash Morgan Webster does a shooting star press, the way Mark Andrews did at the outside. And then freaking hit a surprise stun dog millionaire to finish off Gibson, and then Mark Coffey tries to break it up, but he's too late. I would have preferred that finish.
Yeah.
Over what we fucking got here. This finish was fucking hot garbage because it buried fucking Gallus, and it buried fucking Zach Gibson and James Drake. And yeah, your Welsh boys are fucking over, but for what purpose did it serve?
Yeah. And they're having
Fuck me, man. And people are rating this show A+.
Yeah. A+.
A+. I kid you not. Okay. There was at least a few fucking people that rated this show A+.
A perfect grade?
A perfect grade.
So they're rating it better than I'm going to rate All Out pretty much then.
Yes. Fucking ridiculous, dude. Absolutely bullshit.
I get... Maybe Arturo Center's right, because it's NXT TakeOver, they're going to rate them like it's
He's 100% right here now. And this is coming from a guy who has liked every single TakeOver since its inception.
Both of them, yeah.
When it was on the network. Even the early ones, I love those. Those were, you look at the first TakeOver, and you look at the freaking any TakeOvers that Enzo and Cass were on. They're far superior to what we got here.
Yeah. Because
they booked it right. They booked them right. I don't know what the fuck happened here. I don't know if it was an off night or something, but it was enough for me to not watch this fucking UK brand anymore. The finish alone. And I thought, well, maybe if they make it up with the last 3 matches, I'll be good. Because, this is the first time, you're going to have a 6-match card on the TakeOver. Maybe I'll like this. Maybe I'll like it because it is a big cost match coming up next. It's Joe Coffey and Dave Mastiff. Yep. It's Last Man Standing. Oh my God.
I wish Mike was here because he really could rant about it.
Oh my Lord. Was I in for a treat? Because they were somehow getting worse.
That's bad.
And people loved this match. What?
Yeah.
And by the way, before people think I'm over exaggerating, I want you to listen to that fucking crowd when they broke the top turnbuckle. Dead. Listen back to it. Go back to it right now and listen to that crowd the minute that happened. It was an exasperated sigh the crowd gave. And then when the fucking thing looked like... And I don't know if it was a botch or planned. If it was a botch, then it was a freak accident and they could only do what they needed to do. But if it was a planned thing, and I feel like it was, shame on them. Because that crowd turned dead, fam. Dead. They were dead after that spot. And they tried. This crowd, because England's too fucking nice, they tried to make this feel important still. And the crowd was chanting and cheering and just making sure that, because they like these guys.
Yeah.
But this match was so bad. And here's one of the reasons why. Every time Joe Coffey would hit a fucking move, Dave Mastiff would no-sell it. But anytime Coffey was hit by a move with Mastiff, dead for minutes on end. And he wouldn't even do a fucking thing, and he would struggle to get back up on his feet. But when Dave Mastiff gets hit with a move, it's instant. Yeah. He just instantly gets up. Like he's the Terminator.
And they're trying to promote this like these are 2 big, heavy boys, and it's like...
Really? Yeah. So Mastiff is apparently, no doubt about it, he's a heavy boy. What about Coffey? I'm just gonna forget that his name was, his gimmick is the Iron King.
Yeah.
And it's not like, by the way, it's not like a guy like Pete Dunne, who, yes, like he like looks small, but he's a fighter. And it would have made sense if Coffey was that kind of guy and he was the babyface. That would make sense. This guy's a fucking heel. This guy is a jacked up dude. This guy is not a fucking slouch in the ring.
Not at all.
I can't even remember half the fucking spots that happened, but that's one of the observations I noticed in this fucking piece of fucking shit booked match. Is that when Coffee hits a freaking suplex, Mastiff no-sells it, and anytime Mastiff hit a move on him, he was dead for minutes. And then they would brawl around the crowd, they would do the stupid crowd brawling, and then you would have him, like, cower in fear. You would have Coffee, the leader of Dallas, cower in fear.
I got another one. Just the tables just to get a pop from the crowd. Like, that's the only reason.
God. Yeah. Because it was so badly booked.
Yeah.
It was so badly booked. And anybody that wants to tell me it wasn't, whatever.
Yeah.
But I will tell if I think you're bullshitting, and I will call you out on it. Because this was fucking hot garbage the way they booked this.
I also want to say...
Coffee looked like an absolute geek.
I want to say this, too. The Joe Coffey we saw on this show was a completely different Joe Coffey we saw at NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool.
Completely different Joe Coffey than when he was in the fucking Prestige. Back in WCPW. For the love of God, you had an easy match right in the palm of your hand.
Yeah.
Just let them no-sell their offense. Let them no-sell it for like the first 5 minutes. And then one goes down eventually. And then the other goes down eventually. And then it builds from there. And then it's really impactful. So that when the final spot does happen.
You booked this match better with Azam versus...
It would have been fine. It would have been great. It would have been fantastic. But instead, you fucking make Mastiff like this indestructible fucking monster that you have to get a fuck finish on that probably will make no sense just to get the fucking win. If it didn't work with Goldberg and it didn't work with Brock Lesnar, guess what? It ain't gonna work with Dave Mastiff.
Yeah. You booked this match better with Azam versus Sean Maverick.
Tell me which is better. Go on my show right now. Everything's time-coded. So go and watch Dave Mastiff and Joe Coffey and compare it to Azam versus Sean Maverick and Immortal. I'm waiting. Yeah, you see the difference? Fucking Christ, dude. This is bullshit. I think I gave this like a 2 or something.
No, you didn't even get...
What did I even give it? I don't even know.
You didn't even really get to talk about the finish.
Oh, jeez, the finish. All right. So the finish, the visual of it was cool, but here's the problem. They did a finish similar to this. I pull you down, you pull me down. Yeah, does that sound familiar? Yeah, it's because Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano did that in the fucking Cage from Hell. Or what I like to call extreme cell block match.
Yeah.
You know what they did instead to copy that? They went like a couple stories up with a table that was gonna break their fall. That was conveniently placed there, by the way. Wasn't placed by the wrestlers. It was just completely there. Completely just placed properly. Yeah, I wonder why. And, it would have been an alright finish. I wouldn't have cared if it wasn't for this next thing. And everyone's giving them shit. But here, everyone's like, oh no, the finish was smart. It was clever. Go back and watch. Mastiff was up on his fucking feet before the 10 count expired. He used the crate. He got up on his 2 fucking feet. He was up. And then Coffee, I don't know what he did specifically, but he kicked it into him. And then he fell down again, and then they counted to 10. And fucking Coffee won. Via bullshit finish, which is what this was. It was a botched finish. And no one seems to fucking recognize that. It was botched. when you get hit with an object by somebody who pushes it into you, the count's supposed to automatically restart. Especially if it's a fucking object, by the way, that he is using to help stand himself up.
Also,
this is last man standing match 1-on-1. This is not rocket science. Yeah. And everyone's like, and no one seems to bat an eye at this. No one. Not a single person. Not Wrestling with Regret, not What Culture, not Cultaholic, nobody. Nobody bats an eye on this shit.
You know what the funny thing is? If this happened on the main roster, they would.
They would tear this to shreds. They would tear this to shreds. If it was on the main roster. But because it's TakeOver, they get a pass.
No pass for me. Not pass for me. I give this
off, man. This fucking show. I don't even know what I give this. What did I give this initially in my reaction? Because I don't even remember. I tried to block it out of my head.
I gave it a dud.
Yeah, so mine was a 0, I think. I gave this 0 stars.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I probably, that's probably being generous. I honestly, to God, should have gave this a -2 star. Like it was that fucking bad. And yeah. I might have. I don't remember what I said in the reaction. If you want to go back to my reaction, go for it. That will be my rating, whatever I gave it in the reaction.
When we do the UN Awards for NXT UK, this is easily the worst. Actually, yeah, this is the worst.
It's the worst show of the year so far. It's not even close. I mean, not even WWE main roster shows have not been booked as bad. This is like 2 matches in a row.
Yeah.
And it would have at least been in contention if it was just those 2 matches. But it just keeps getting worse. It keeps getting worse.
Should I talk about this one?
Yep.
So it's the NXT UK Women's Championship match. NXT UK Women's Champion Toni Storm versus Kaylee Ray. In a storyline we've seen many times where they're friends, they used to be friends, so they're going to be in a feud now. This was no Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. This was no Gargano and Ciampa. This was no Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho. This was no Chris Jericho Christian from.
This wasn't even Trish Stratus Lita.
Yeah. This was none of that. This really sucked. So the match is going on okay. Let's the point. We were enjoying it, but then there's one moment, and a lot of people can say it's just one moment, but it just completely took me out of the match. Toni Storm cried. She cried. The champion cried. She should just
go back to what I said about Mastiff in comparison to Brock and Goldberg. Now, I'm going to compare Toni to another fucking babyface that was shafted by this booking. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Now, it's not as bad.
Because she didn't cry?
Oh, no. She just looked like a buffoon.
Yeah.
And was too huggable to hit her with a kendo stick. But in this case, Toni cried. Did you see Gargano cry when Ciampa turned on him? Or did you see him kick his ass? Oh, I think I know the answer. When Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle had their feud back in 2001, did Kurt Angle cry when he was getting put in a crossface backstage at Mania? No. Challenged him to an Ultimate Submission match. What other feuds are there? I bet I can name a lot. When Eddie Guerrero lost to Rey Mysterio, did he cry? I don't think he cried. I think.
Yeah.
He turned heel, hit a brainbuster on the steps on Mysterio, tried to take custody of his son, just to get into his head to psychologically fuck with him so he could beat him finally. What else?
Trish Stratus.
How about Trish? Yeah, let's compare it to women, right? When Trish Stratus called her, was called a bitch by Lita, or vice versa. I don't know who called who a bitch. Did Lita cry? Nah, you know what? You know what? Yeah, it was Trish. Trish called her a bitch. Lita looked at her with a stern, "I'm gonna fucking murk you,"
And she
face, and slapped the shit out of her. And it is to one of some of the all-time greatest backstage brawls of all time.
She hit her like a concerto with the chair, like.
And did you see Trish cry when the concerto happened? No.
Actually, I think she did. But that makes sense because she got a concerto.
Well, considering I don't know, she had a concerto to the head, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That hurt. I would cry. Fair enough.
Actually, wait, I got one. Did Cody cry when he got recently just had a chair broken over his head?
No.
You think?
No, I don't think he did. I don't think he cried. In fact, I don't think he cried when Shawn Spears did that. That's a very good recent one, and actually on topic with this video. Yeah, I don't think Cody cried. I think he was just pissed off and fucking beat him. Tony Storm, in case you people didn't know, cried in a rest hold. In a submission. Yeah, real credible champion you got there. Fuck off.
And then it gets worse. 5 minutes in, they're already hitting finishes on each other. What is that? There's already a Storm Zero 5 minutes in. Was there any finishes 5 minutes in at All Out, James?
No.
Was there even any finishes 5 minutes in Jordan Myles versus Adam Cole this week?
No. Not at all.
Yeah, no. And then this is I hated the finish. Kaylee Ray does the Widow's Peak, which isn't the Widow's Peak, by the way, so enough of that. Into the ropes. What about that is different than just regularly hating somebody up into the ropes? Like, yeah. It's no difference.
Don't even get me started.
And then she hits a second one and wins the title. But
and they're calling it the Widow's Peak. It's not the Widow's Peak. It's a fucking gory bomb.
Yeah.
It's a gory bomb. When this was stupid.
Kaylee Ray becomes a new champion, and Tony Storm looks weak. Let's also talk about back to the Joe Coffey Dave Mastiff match. Joe Coffey, even though he won, still looks weak, by the way. Let's also point that...
Joe Coffey looked fucking weak in his match. Gallus looked weak because they didn't even factor into the fucking finish in the tag match. Banks looked weak because he didn't fucking... He didn't fucking win in any match ever and keeps getting assaulted and can't get a fucking break to save his life. And then you had Ilya Dragunov lose to a main roster star. Who the fuck wins here?
Yeah.
How are you ever going to expect to build stars if you don't build them correctly when they lose? How do you expect that to work?
I don't even think this is worse than the main roster. Like, the main roster doesn't do at least this shit. Like,
oh no, they absolutely do this shit. That's why I'm pissed, because they do this shit. They do this shit on a daily, on a constant basis. Pay-per-views, TV shows, you name it, they do it.
And then we had the main event, and we were worried for the main event. Well, I was worried for the main event because I'm like, no, do not make this suck. Like,
now, hold on. Now, before you say that, just give me a second because I have to finish this text. And
yeah.
Oh, when I'm back. Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, now, because the show sucked so bad for me, especially with the last three matches, not so much the first two, even though they had wonky finishes, but the last three really pissed me off. I was scared for this main event, and I was scared I was going to be like, this is gonna suck. Well, thank God it didn't, but You know, when you sit through a fucking show that was so bad on the undercard, at least 3 matches in a row specifically, in my head, because I guess and in your head too, Owen, because I guess we're the only ones that actually think this, by the way. The Indie Force and Rundown collectively. I had to watch this match again.
Yeah.
Because I was afraid I was going to let my judgment, be dictated by the undercard. So I had to watch this by itself. Holy shit, this match is fucking great.
Yeah.
This match was the best match of the whole weekend. And I say and that's saying a lot because there was a lot of great matches at All Out. As far as All Out, it was the better pay-per-view. There's not even a question about that in my opinion. But as far as the best main event and the best match, it's got to go to Walter and Tyler Bate.
Well, I have one that I like a little better, but you're entitled to your opinion.
I think that this was good because of the story it was told. The story is, and it's simple. This is something I've actually agreed unanimously with everybody. Tyler Bate wants to have fun. He wants to be an entertainer while he wrestles. Whereas Walter's a pro wrestler. That ring's sacred. It's all serious. It's all business. And if you don't like it, tough shit, get out. I love that dynamic. It's an old school mentality versus a new school mentality. And they go in there and they show it right off the fucking offset.
This match was great.
This was unbelievable. This was unbelievable. I don't know, and now that you bring it up, I don't know what was better. It may have been the Shawn and Cody match, but I rated this a little higher because I actually rated it like 5.25.
Okay.
It was so good that I was left on the edge of my seat watching it again. And that's the thing I did for myself. I had to watch it again without the fucking bad taste of the rest of the show and wash that out of my mouth in order to actually have a legitimate opinion. That is my legit opinion now. This show would have been fucked without this match.
Yeah.
Tyler Bate lost, but it wasn't in vain because, oh my God, some of the stuff that this guy was kicking out of, and this is a guy, that has been here for years, and I can see the false finishes with. I can see why they do this, and that's I totally get that because he's a superstar that actually it works for, especially when it's for the pride of UK. That was the story they were telling. It was the pride of NXT UK on the line. He needed to win that title so that Walter wouldn't shape it in his image, and a very disturbing one at that.
Yeah.
Although I don't think Walter has to do much to fucking ruin the rest of the show, but still.
Yeah. Maybe Walter. Maybe Imperium booked this show then.
Maybe that's the rib. And yeah, it was Walter hits so many fucking great big man moves. He may be the best big man in the business.
Yeah. I really love.
Honest to God, holy shit! I haven't seen a guy move this well and just look so crisp with his moves since maybe Brock Lesnar's early days.
Yeah.
And even then, he's lean like Big Show.
Yeah.
And this dude's tall and he just looks like a beast, dude. He does not give two shits who you are. He just goes in there, he'll batter you, he'll throw you, he'll powerbomb you. I remember there was at one point they hit a scary looking bump where Walter picks him up for a powerbomb on the turnbuckle. And I was scared because that could have ended way worse and you would have seen a fucking concussed Tyler Bate. And that match would have fucking ended in tragedy.
I thought this match, was just great. The storytelling, where Walter 2 just wants to end, the image of Tyler Bates' version of NXT UK, where he's powerbombing him on the apron, powerbombing him on the turnbuckle, into the post. And Tyler Bates still wants to continue after that. But you even had Tyler
Bate looked like Rey Mysterio in this match.
Yeah.
And that is not a bad comparison. You want to talk about fucking hope spots, man. Holy shit.
Tyler Bate even hit some awesome like power moves, like the suplex. He body slammed Walter like with ease. Like
did the airplane spin into? I don't remember. It was a. I think it was a wasteland, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was like, holy shit.
The exploder into the apron, the exploder into the turnbuckles. Like it was
like this. It was a perfect. It was the best David and Goliath match.
I think
too. I go as far as to say, because there was a large period other than Strowman and Big Show, where like our show produced a really awesome David Goliath match in Taka-Shan. This topped that.
Yeah.
Like leaps and bounds topped that. It was fucking great. It was amazing. Like all the way through.
Walter winning makes sense, and it's
the way he won too, by the way, and everyone's like, "Well, the way he won it, you complain about the fucking match, with it being won with a shooting star press. Walter won it with a lariat. Did you not see how the lariat was delivered, motherfucker? This guy hit a worse clothesline than JBL in a good way.
Yeah,
because JBL had like one of the best clotheslines in the business, maybe the best, and Walter topped it.
Yeah,
like this dude waylaid Tyler Bate. That was awesome. And the way Tyler Bate sold that, he was dead. He died. And he won the match with that move. And if the only thing I would say is they should have freaking did a referee stoppage. You should have hit 2 more of those suckers on him.
Yeah.
And then do a referee stoppage. That probably would have taken that up to like a 6-star match. Honest to God. Like that, I love this match so much.
Yeah, it's awesome. I give it 5.
Keep in mind, I had to fucking watch this back, though, because of the rest of that fucking show. But this was awesome. This match was just great. You could have put this on a regular NXT, and it would have been amazing. It would have been marvelous. No question about it. It was the best.
And then afterwards, British Strong Style comes in the win, and...
Well, hold on. You're missing one point. Imperium are on the ramp as Walter's coming back after like he went to war with that guy. He went to war with Tyler Bate, and he won. He won the battle. This was the first battle in many wars to come. It's basically the story they're telling. And you just have Imperium standing with their arms over their head, looking all mean and puffing their chests out. And Walter has the title around his shoulder, and they leave. And then Strong Style come out, and they give each other a group hug. And it's almost like they're trying to remain hopeful, but they don't know if they can because of the new wave of the Imperium. But it's also like they're trying to draw up a new battle plan as well in the huddle.
Yeah.
I love how the show went off the air, and I as much as people are saying, I can understand why people would say Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness are the best commentary team in WWE only for this reason. Vic Joseph called this main event like he was fighting for his job here.
Yeah.
He called this he sounded like Morrow here. I give him full credit at that. And the show he was actually on top of his game. I will give them full credit there. But he's still not anywhere close to Morrow.
No.
This was his best performance by far. I take nothing away from Vic Joseph. And the way he sold this main event, and I remember him distinctly saying, the future of NXT UK is uncertain. What will happen next, or something of that nature. But it was the way he said it, the way Vic Joseph said it, and the gravitas of that statement that he closed the broadcast off of was what really capped it off for me. If I had to rate the whole segment, I probably would have rate it 5.5. But the match alone is 5.25 for me. But that segment put it over the ending segment put it over the top for me.
Yeah,
I love that segment. I love how they close off the show. That said, I know this is gonna sound fucking harsh. This is still enough show, in my opinion. And I'm sorry, but it is. That undercard was just ridiculous. You had 2 average matches. You had a really amazing match, but which ended with a horrible finish. That if it was on the main roster, everybody would be calling out on. But of course they don't. And then you had that fucking abysmal last man standing match and that abysmal women's title match, the way they booked Toni Storm to cry. And yet she's the champion. Fuck off. This was an F.
I give it D- because of the main event. Saved it from an F, but yeah, this main event, like I said, was
like
great.
If I had to grade this, if I was grading it on a curve, it would be like a 59.
Yeah,
like a 59%. So they still failed, but they almost passed, in my opinion. If I was grading it on a curve.
And then you know, that main event though, yeah, definitely was great. It makes me question what's going to happen next with because we know Pete Dunne's going to be in NXT for a while. So does Mustache Mountain go to NXT?
And by the way, I had to convince the guys like you have to watch that match by itself without the rest of the show, and they did, and they loved that match. I had to convince the Indie Force. Let me explain something to you. We may be called the Indie Force and we'll support independent wrestling, but if you fuck off with us, if you try to pull some fuck shit with us, we will leave you and not fucking review your show. We're not going to give it another chance. And I'm sorry, that as great as that main event was, we are not watching NXT UK until probably the next takeover. And Mike and the mics might be like, no, fuck you, we're not watching it. And honestly, I wouldn't blame them after this. I couldn't blame them. I couldn't argue it. The show was largely shit.
We had to literally tell Nico's like, this is not the same NXT. We're trying to get you to watch too. Like,
yeah. We had to explain to him this is NXT UK. This is not the regular NXT like that's in Full Sail in Florida.
Yeah. And
he's like, wait, there's two different brands. I'm like, yeah. So chill. This isn't as bad as you think it is. It's actually really good. And then he watched this recent episode of NXT, and there's some stuff he was like, but he still largely enjoyed that show far more than he did with this.
I don't know who booked this show. There's no way
There's no way it was Triple H.
Yeah.
I am not convinced. I'm actually not convinced it was Triple H.
There's no way the same people that even book NXT booked this show.
No way. No fucking way.
Yeah.
This was a terrible, terrible show.
A lot of people ask him when they're gonna. A lot of people ask him when they're doing another takeover. I don't want to see another takeover. They don't even have the right to do another takeover until they fix their problems. Like,
this was so terrible, dude. It was so bad.
Also, think about it like this.
And I know, and the problem is we're gonna. This is gonna get so much heat with NXT. The NXT team. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I don't. I like NXT, but I will not review another NXT UK after this. I'm quite good until the next takeover. That left such a bitter taste in my mouth the way they booked this, and the fact that people aren't realizing how they booked some of these things. Like, if I was gonna give my honest opinion, the only two matches you should watch from the show that were really, really good were Ilya Dragunov versus Cesaro and Walter versus Tyler Bate.
Yeah,
that's it. Those are the only matches I recommend. Every other match was average to shit.
Yeah,
and one match was actually really good, but fucking tanked at the end because they decided, we're gonna have a shit finish, so it turned to average.
I want to tell everyone this too. They have no opponent now for Walter for the title now.
Yeah, it should have been Joe. It should have been Joe Coffey.
Or
and they're probably still gonna do it. And by the way, they're probably still gonna do Coffey versus Walter, but now Coffey looks like a geek, and that match should go no longer than 10 minutes. If you were to keep Joe Coffey strong and have him beat down and hand freaking Mastiff his first loss damn near decisively.
Well, let's go through the card.
It would have been fine if they booked that match a lot better. But the problem is Mastiff looked like a fucking wrecking machine, and Coffey got lucky by the final move. Yeah. I think the final offense percentage was like 90% Mastiff and like 10% Joe Coffey.
Yeah. Let's go through the code, though, of everyone on it. It's not Travis Banks. Hell no. Like, who would take him seriously after that?
It's not Travis Banks.
Not Cassius Ohno.
It's not Nolan Dar because he's just too small. It's not Ilya Dragunov because his undefeated streak was killed by that fat-ass Ono.
It's not Cassius Ohno because no one's gonna believe that.
It's not Cesaro because he's not gonna be on the fucking brand, even though it would make a lot of sense.
It's not Morgan or Andrews. No way.
No. Of course not. It's not fucking. It's not Mastiff because he lost to Coffey. It's not Coffey because it looked like a fluke victory. Although logistically, it's the only match that's going to make sense. And now that match is going to be the only thing that match is going to last like no more than 7 to 10 minutes.
And you could do Trent Seven, but we've already seen it. So, and Tyler Bate, that feud's over pretty much. So,
you could do Pete Dunne, but that feud's over with.
Yeah.
And Sky has lost 2 straight times in 2 separate matches. One was a tag, and the other one was like a singles, which I was live for, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But, I'm fucking me. I don't understand. And the problem is, on paper, this is the second, card that I was looking forward to the most out of the 3 cards that they had on this weekend. And I was so disappointed, dude. I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
And I had to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling's Royal Quest just to get the bad taste out of my mouth. And I know there was a lot of problems. And I'm not, and in no way am I saying this was the best show of the weekend. Unlike Meltzer, by the way. Another fucking bias.
Oh my God, you kidding me?
In no way was this show better than All Out because of, oh my God, the technical issues were fucking ridiculous on that show. But I would much rather have technical issues and just mute a show and just watch it and have a 7 out of 10 show than a fucking F show. Yeah. Honest to God. And the ring work was so awesome, and I could follow all the stories that were going on. And the semi-main and the main event were very, very, very good. I mean, when you have Zack Sabre Jr. versus Hiroshi Tanahashi, and you got Kazuchika Okada versus Minoru Suzuki, you're bound to get a really, really awesome show. Hell, I may even rate it an 8 out of 10 if I decide to change my rating. I probably would rate it an 8 out of 10 just because of those 2 matches alone. But I'd much rather a show with technical problems than a show that was booked like absolute dog shit, and that's what TakeOver Cardiff was.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That is my full, unbiased opinion. And unlike fucking Observer, unlike Wrestling Observer, and unlike a few other fucking sites, you're gonna get my full unbiased opinion from now on. Because if I don't do it, and if guys like OTRS don't do it, and you don't do it, no one else is gonna fucking do it.
Yeah. Let's talk about this too, just to the fans that like this show. I just want to ask you guys, if the main roster had a show booked like this, would you rate it an awesome show? Because,
no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
So I don't understand.
You know what this was? This was a glorified NXT UK episode.
And how bad.
Honestly, if this was split into 2 different NXT UK episodes, I wouldn't complain. Honest to God. I still would complain about Mastiff and Coffee, but everything else, I wouldn't have complained. And obviously the women's title match. But I wouldn't complain that much about everything else. I would have been like, it's a regular NXT episode. NXT UK episode. That's fine. But no, this was a takeover. That's the thing that pissed me off. It was a takeover where the wins on this show should matter more than any other show that you have.
Yeah. And don't do another takeover until you fix your problems, because this is bad.
That was so shit.
It made us look forward to AEW more, though. So there's that. So
there is. And look, no disrespect to any of the athletes that tried to fucking do what they could with the shit that they were given. I give all the credit in the world to the guys that were on that show, and I'm glad, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster got their moment on the sun, and there was moments on there, and I'm glad Ilya Dragunov got a rub from Cesaro, and I'm glad about all that. But my fucking God, man.
What really sucks too is that Defiant had to die because had to die.
This show, that show had to fucking die over this fucking pile of garbage and TakeOver.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Let's get positive though. Don't worry, everything's gonna be fine because we're on to the other NXT, the good NXT.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that because this show was so much better, and I enjoyed this so much better than I did with NXT UK.
All right, so starting with it took place on September 4th, 2019. We already said the commentary team throughout this whole show, so we're not gonna say it.
Beth, Morrow, and Nigel.
Yeah.
There you go.
we had an exclusive just hyping us up for the NXT Championship match that aired earlier in the show. Then we had the show itself. It was Breezango versus Chase Parker and Matt Martel. This was interesting because Breezango have new theme
music. Yeah, and I was like, what are they going to do without CFO money? And apparently they're doing just fine.
Yeah.
I don't know who did this song, but it makes sense for them.
Yeah. I liked it. And yeah, like Breezango just feels so much better in NXT than they did on the main roster. I mean, the comedy skits were like good on the main roster, but I don't know, they just fit so much better in NXT than they do in the main roster.
Yeah, because it's not just comedy. It's like everybody's like, well, they're funny. There's a point where funny gets stale on the main roster because that's all they do and that's all they know how to do is comedy. And even then, that's starting to lose its luster because they're really not doing it right at all.
Yeah.
But when you go to NXT, it's like the comedy feels more natural, but they could also be taken as serious competitors for like the tag titles.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a huge difference between guys that are very egotistical, looking at themselves in selfie sticks on their phones and, you know, dancing because they know how to do ballroom dances, but can still go in the ring, than a fucking guy who's your WWE champion chucking pancakes when he's in the middle of a serious feud.
Yeah.
But it was like they knew when there was a time and a place to be serious and a time and place to be fun. You know?
But this was a nice squash here. Breezango get the win with the slingshot elbow drop.
As the dirt sheet elbow, because if anybody remembers Miz and Morrison, that was their old tag finisher.
That's right.
So it's good to see them bring that back to light.
And Breezango win, which makes sense because they're not going to lose to an enhancement tag team, but you know they want to build them back up, and I'm actually just fine with that. You know, I want to see where they go in the NXT tag team title reigns and stuff. So I'm actually excited. What do you think of this match? I thought it was pretty.
I mean, it was average, but it was fun average. Like I enjoyed seeing their development in the match, and I can totally see how Fandango's being treated so much more seriously. Thank Christ, because that guy is such an underrated talent, and I think it's going to show in NXT. I mean, Tyler Breeze, we already know how good he was, especially if you look back at his past run in NXT. But when you look at like Fandango now, they're going to take him a lot more seriously. They're going to take Johnny Curtis so much more seriously now.
They are, yeah. Then we had Keith Lee and Jordan Myers backstage, and Kathy Kelly comes up, and Jordan Myers talks about how he's very excited about his NXT title match, but he's a little nervous, obviously, because it's his first title match. And Keith Lee's like, keep your head up, buddy. I mean, you've been here 2 months, and you already have a title match. You got this. And I'm thinking Keith Lee's turning heel because you could kind of see, like, with the way he says this, he's, like, kind of disappointed, like, where his career is because he hasn't even gotten, like, a title match or anything, and Jordan Myers won. So I actually kind of like... I like, too, that they didn't do... this is a spoiler, but I thought he was going to turn heel on this show, but I kind of like that he didn't turn heel on this show. I like that they're building it up a little bit more.
Yeah, I like that they're doing slow builds. I'm very happy that they're doing slow builds.
Yeah. So I quite like this backstage segment. I thought it was good. What do you think?
Great backstage segment. It was more of a parking lot segment, but I digress. Thumbs up for me. Good character development for both Keith Lee and Jordan Myers. Yeah. I feel like Jordan Myers is going to be like a dark horse in NXT because I don't think they realize how good he really is on the microphone, and he's going to show that. And his facials are really down pat as well, and I don't think people understand like. When he came down and he just had that stern face when he, and then he dropped the contract and gave that shit-eating grin, I was like, this guy is going to be a dark horse to watch out for.
Yes. Then they were advertising, like, matches and stuff coming up, and then all of a sudden we hear, like, some commotion going on outside, and we see, like, Io Shirai has attacked Candice LeRae.
With a kendo stick as well, by the way.
I quite like this. I thought this was just kind of, like, nice... unpredictable stuff that we should have in wrestling where like you see this
where
stuff.
You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's like everyone's like, well, why do you think there's going to be a Wednesday Night War? Because AEW and NXT are going to bring unpredictability to their shows, which Raw and SmackDown have not had in years.
Yeah. So I quite like this. And it was just something simple too to do
It was so simple too. Not just because it's unpredictable doesn't mean it doesn't have to be simple.
Yeah.
This was just a simple parking lot attack with a kendo stick, and you didn't even see her attack her because they did this whole chaotic thing with the camera where they were rushing to the scene because they didn't know what happened. They just saw Candice LeRae was down, and you had Io Shirai with a crazy woman with a kendo stick, and it looked real. It didn't look phony. Like you see, like these WWE cameras don't catch the whole backstage brawl. This one, they showed up late to it after she finished her attack. Yeah, I actually liked that touch to it as well, by the way.
Then Cameron Grimes is backstage, and he's upset that he was supposed to come in and win the breakout tournament, but now he's
jeez. So he got a really awesome promo, and Casey mentioned this as well. Casey's like, take notes on his delivery. His delivery was awesome. It was great. It was like one of the better promos I've heard in a long time. And then all of a sudden, he sighs, and he puts this hat on. I don't know what the hat was at first, and then they show an angle where it says comically huge top hat.
Yep.
And then he walks up and I'm like, what?
What are you doing? Like,
what are you doing? I just got the serious ass promo, and it was great. It was fantastic. Yeah. I give absolute credit to Cameron Grimes. He's actually really good here. I didn't know he was that good of a promo, by the way. Apparently, TNA missed the boat out on him, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah, but then he just puts on this fucking hat. I'm like, you look like a mug. Holy fucking hell! What is that? What is that hat? Why? What is he?
Well, Breaking Bad Eisenberg wore that type of hat, so maybe that was the reference. But like, he doesn't look like Bryan Cranston at all.
He doesn't look like it, and even then, nobody's gonna get that reference. They're just gonna think like, "Wait, you're this serious guy and you wear a top hat to the ring." That's what they're gonna think.
Well, you'd be surprised how many people have watched Breaking Bad. So,
I think it's like supposed to be like a southern type of deal. That's why he wears that hat. Why didn't you just go with like one of those weird fedoras with the feathers in them?
Yeah.
I would have taken that way more seriously than this fucking top hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus, this was like, and it was like 2 sizes too big for his head too. That was like the worst part of it. Like, if he didn't put it on in the specific way, the thing would have freaking covered his eyes, and then he would have walked not knowing where the fuck he's going.
Yeah, I know, right?
Jesus, that was weird. It was a great promo. I'll give a thumbs up for the promo. I'm just conflicted on his, style choice.
Then we had the next match. It was the Velveteen Dream versus Kona Reeves. This match was fairly decent.
It was actually, and by the way, this is like Kona Reeves' best match of his career. That's not saying much.
I think I think Velveteen Dream carried him though. Clearly, like.
Well, hey, at least you're finally doing what you've been asking for this entire time. They're saving Kona Reeves.
But he's not saving himself.
Dreams saved Kona Reeves.
But he's not saving himself though. So.
I know. Dead mean.
But yeah, Kona Reeves gets a couple of big boots in, but then eventually.
That's all he knows how to do too. That's what I was thinking. Like, that's all he knows how to do is forearms and big boots.
And eventually starts talking too much trash. So Velveteen Dream hits 2 super kicks and a Death Valley driver for the win. I like the fact that he just used the Death Valley driver as a finisher, because shows
because it's Kona Reeves.
Yeah, and it shows that he has other ways of beating you other than his finisher, nice alternate moves. Afterwards, Roderick Strong comes up on the screen. I think they did it this way because maybe they're thinking like we're gonna have to do more promos like this, when NXT goes live. So maybe this was testing that system. Roderick Strong.
I actually liked it. Roderick Strong's best fucking promo of his career too.
Probably, yeah.
He just had a sternness about his voice, and then I like the camera angle just showing his couch burning.
Yeah.
Because they only showed the fire like in the background lighting up Strong's face, and then they showed the couch just aflame.
Yeah.
And then he just ends it with, "Hey Dream, you said to get your attention. do I have your attention now?
Yeah.
And then you just see this fucking awesome facial reaction by Velveteen.
Do you think he called Batista up too and asked if he could use that line? Because that's what Batista said when he returned.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's just missing one specific word, and that way it won't get trademarked.
Yeah. But now the match is official. The first show live September 18th.
Do they have any other title matches scheduled, or is it just that one in the main event?
Just that one. North American title match. Velveteen Dream versus Roderick Strong.
So the first ever title match on the USA Network. Great.
Yep.
Perfect. This is the perfect match to do it. I said this should be the main event of the show. I said it should be Roddy versus Velveteen.
It might
because these two are going to tear the house down.
It might not be the main event though, because
it has to be. That would be stupid.
The first hour is live on USA. The second hour is live on the network. So I'm assuming they'll wanna.
What?
Yeah. I read online that's how they're doing it. The first hour is going to be live on USA. The second hour on the network until October 2nd. That's what I read online. So, do I have to send?
You fucking. This is ass backwards thinking. I know why they're doing it, but it doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Why didn't? It's because their idea is if they coax them in with the first hour, then it's gonna make them want to watch the second hour. That's their idea.
Probably, yeah.
But the problem is, you're already saying the second hour isn't going to mean jack and shit compared to hour one on the USA Network that you're airing for free. And then you're expecting people to fork over $9.99 for an hour of a show that they got to see for free.
It makes no sense.
What the fuck? What is going on with this company? Oh my god. Why didn't they just air the fucking 2 hours?
It'd be much
easier. Just say, if you want to watch it on demand, go on the network. And you can watch it there. You don't even have to DVR it.
Yeah.
I mean, people are still going to DVR it because it's more free, but at least then, like, you might entice people, and then you could say, what's on the network? And then get people to fucking fork over money that way. Why in God's green earth would you do it this way? The first 2 weeks before they go on October 2nd. That makes no sense. Oh, fuck me.
Anyhow.
I know that it's not going to diminish the show quality, I don't think, but fuck.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Next, though, we had a vignette for Rhea Ripley.
This vignette was great.
Yeah, showing
it was simple. It was simple, and it was just like Shayna Baszler was coming out. They had epic music playing, and then all of a sudden Rhea Ripley music hits, and then it shows her coming to the ramp as the music's going, and then they have her taunt when it says brutality.
Yeah.
And then it shows highlights of Rhea Ripley just dominating everybody.
In NXT UK, yeah.
In NXT UK, and in the Mae Young Classic, and then and then it shows that awesome promo where she said, "You haven't beaten me, bitch."
Yeah.
Yeah. If you already seen the last NXT we reviewed, I love Rhea Ripley, and you already know my stats on that promo.
There you go.
It's amazing.
It's great. Then we had probably Tanawa Conti's best match in her career.
She actually looked awesome here in this match. Yeah. I gotta say, the only problem is I wish she would incorporate more of her judo, because she literally only hit like 2 judo takedowns in this whole match.
Yeah, she faced.
But she did everything else great.
Yeah, she did. She faced Bianca Belair. This match was really good actually. Tanawa Conti hit a really cool high cross body from the apron. That was awesome. But unfortunately after that, she just got destroyed right after that match.
Right after that spot, because then it was a fall-away slam on the mat, and then they both got back into the ring, and then What did Belair hit? I forget what she hit.
She hit
it was like a running attack.
Yeah. She hit an awesome too, running bicycle kick too. I thought that was awesome.
Just said she looked great here. Like Bianca has improved so much as a performer. Although there is one notice that I actually got from the Indie Force. I'm actually going to kind of incorporate their viewpoints on this. They thought Bianca looked like in layman's terms, a thought, like glamour thought, basically.
Yep.
And they were like, if she expects to get over, that's not going to get over. Yeah. And I'm like, you'd be shocked. But I can see where you're saying this. I think it's better as a heel gimmick.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they want to hate her rather than try to like her, but because they can't get into her. I feel like if she was a heel, it'd be a different story right now.
Well, she was a heel, but
I don't know why they didn't keep her as a heel.
Yeah.
Just my deal. I don't understand.
But she wins with the KOD, and I just thought it was a really fun match, really good. Then William Regal's backstage, and he makes a triple threat number one contenders match for the NXT Championship in 2 weeks. So that would be the episode before the September 18th episode. It's going to be Mia Yim versus Io Shirai versus Bianca Belair. I'm kind of hoping Io Shirai wins, but I could see them doing something where Candice LeRae gets involved and costs her. But I think they should have Io Shirai win.
I don't know. I'm the thing that aggravates me is that who is it? Like Belair? Who else?
Mia Yim and Bianca. No, Io Shirai.
It's probably going to be Mia, but ultimately, I don't care who wins because ultimately Rhea Ripley is going to be the next in line to probably dethrone.
I am kind of questioning why they're doing the match next week, in a sense, but I'm kind of hoping they do something where the match doesn't happen or something. Like it's a handicap match.
I think Rhea Ripley's going to beat. I think what's going to end up happening is whoever wins that triple threat's going to fight Shayna on the, I guess, hour 2 on the network.
Yeah.
Against Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's title.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's going to be Rhea Ripley coming out to end the show and challenge her because she pinned her already on the week that the number one contenders triple threat happened. That's what I think they're going to do. Because that's the only thing that kind of makes this whole thing kind of come around full circle.
Yeah.
So as long as they do that, it really doesn't matter who wins this triple threat. It's fine.
Yes.
You could have Mia Yim win it again if you want, and have her lose again. As long as the ultimate goal is have Rhea Ripley dethrone Shayna like the next takeover or whatever.
Yes.
So we'll see.
I'll be fine with that. Yeah. Then we had the main event. What a main event it was! NXT Championship match. NXT Champion Adam Cole versus Jordan Myles. This was a great main event.
ACH is always great. Or as now known as Jordan Myles, he comes in and he's got the if nobody notices what he has on, he's got the Naruto jacket.
Yep.
He's got the Naruto jacket, Naruto sleeves, and all that, and then he takes it off, and then he goes super because he's like huge in anime.
I like how they booked.
Do you notice on his tights the super logo that's similar to the Supreme logo?
I've never seen that show, so.
No, so Supreme's like a clothing brand.
Oh, I'm not.
So he copied the font from it and just wrote super.
How do you expect me to know fashion? I'm not a fashion guy. Like.
I just thought you would see Supreme because it's like everywhere in stores.
I didn't notice it, so.
Okay.
And I like how they booked the match, though, where Adam Cole was consistently, like, one step ahead of Jordan Myles because, he was the veteran coming into this match in a sense where he's been... And I like to, like, the commentators don't just say, like, he's never, like, been in this position, but, like, Adam Cole has been, like, in more high-stakes positions than Jordan Myles has been in. So it makes sense why he would kind of have, like, the experience factor.
I love how they didn't undersell Jordan Myles, but it was more experience on Adam Cole's part.
Yeah. And I like too how they even tied into the Toronto match. That would have made more sense though if he had been selling the injuries from that match, but he really hasn't been, so that kind of doesn't really make any sense in a sense. But
well, I mean, he kind of sold the injuries. I mean, he had like a couple weeks to recover in kayfabe. Yeah. So I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'd have been mad if they did this match like on the week he came back to Full Sail and then he just not selling at all.
Yeah.
But in this case, he didn't really have to sell them.
But yeah, Jordan Myles gets on a roll early. He hits a really cool dive on the outside. Adam Cole, though, using his experience, throws, hits a wicked kick right to the knee and throws Jordan Myles like head first into the post, which looked awesome. And he dominates Jordan Myles for a while. Jordan Myles mounts a comeback, hit the dive on the outside. But Adam Cole still consistently dominating Jordan Myles. He hits the backstabber into a super kick to the head, a super kick to the knee, into a running shining wizard. Jordan Myles hits the 450 splash and nearly gets the win. And it's looking like Jordan Myles is going to get the win, but he gets...
before you continue, nearly. Notice how we say nearly. Mark Andrews, take notes.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
And then eventually Adam Cole hits a wicked super kick right to the back of the head into the last shot, gets the win. Adam Cole retains the title. But even though Jordan Myles didn't win the championship, I still thought he looked like strong enough where he still looked like he could potentially.
He looked like an absolute contender for the title. He looked like a contender for. You could put him in any division and it'll look credible. He could go for the North American title. He could go for the tag titles. He can go for the cruiserweight title, and he'll look credible every time. You can have him go to UK and he could challenge for the UK title like this guy. Yeah, right. But this guy looks like he could challenge for any other title. That's not main roster, and this guy will look credible.
I'd say the Intercontinental title because he looks more credible than the guys challenging for that title. So,
but poor Ricochet.
Actually, no, it's the Miz that's challenging for the IC title.
Oh yeah, well both.
But yeah, then
I forgot that the Intercontinental title is not on SmackDown anformore. To be honest,
no, it is. You just.
I mean, not on Raw. I meant on Raw because I forgot AJ is the U.S. champ.
Yeah, I just remember that myself now. Yeah, that AJ was the U.S. champ. I forgot who the U.S. champ was for. Sometimes that happens. I just forget who the champions are. So.
Anyway, can we talk about his suicide dive before you continue? I love how Jordan does his suicide dive. If you notice how he runs, I don't know why, but it actually kind of works out because a lot of people have to lean in to do the dive anyway. So the way he does it, he does like the Naruto run with the hands up in the back, and then he gets full speed jump into the suicide dive. He actually does it really good. That's the one good thing Naruto runs have actually brought to the society is that they're good for suicide dives in pro wrestling.
Right. And then on WWE.com, Jordan Myles was all upset, and Keith Lee came up and gave him a motivational speech. So they're still teasing that Keith Lee heel turn, which
I don't know if they should.
It would make sense.
I mean, he could. And he probably could get over as a heel, but the guy's just after those matches with Dijakovic, dude's too over now.
I mean, if he doesn't,
the guy's just a baby. He should be a baby face, man. He should. Honest to God, he should be a baby face for life. Because this guy looks like a mean son of a bitch, but he also is very entertaining and does a lot of high flying moves.
So then I can ask the question. We'll go to the. So with all the stuff he's saying, where he's upset, how do you make that make sense where he doesn't turn heel from it then? Where he's upset that people are getting off.
You don't have to do the whole heel turn all the time,
Yeah.
You could literally just have them have a competitive rivalry of a David versus Goliath kind of matchup. Have Keith Lee get a win on him, maybe even a few wins on him because the deficit. But then you have Jordan Myles, and maybe it's not technically a heel turn, but it's Jordan Myles that kind of is the heel in the match as opposed to Keith Lee because he doesn't want pity. He wants to prove that he belongs. Yeah. Kind of like what they did with Cesaro and Sami Zayn back when NXT first came to the network. And, that whole saga. Yeah. So I'm thinking if they do that, it's perfectly acceptable to me. Because not everything. I mean, they could do a heel turn. I wouldn't complain because Keith Lee literally you could sell him in anything. But it's just like, not everything needs to be a fucking heel turn for a feud to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
like AEW proved that. MLW proves that.
Why not just have him like be frustrated and still be a babyface? So
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So that was NXT. I thought this was a great show. I gave it a B+. I thought it was great. You know, had great matches. No way the same.
I give it an A-. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed this episode. It's not an S rank for sure, but it was still. I really enjoyed it.
And then it was definitely better than Cardiff. So there you go.
Far and leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds, bruv. Better than Cardiff.
Let's get to the best show of all this batch.
Yes.
All Out. Like I said, we're not going to... AEW All Out, I should say, actually. We're not going to review this show move for move, because like we said, go watch the live reactions.
Yeah, exactly. We're just going to go over... We're going to go over each match, and we're going to give our quick thoughts on it. It's basically how we're going to go about this.
Commentators for the buy-in were Golden Boy and Excalibur.
Thank Christ Marvez is gone.
Yeah. Hopefully
and he's much better. And I will say they still found a way to use Marvez where he's actually really good, because Marvez was really good on the post-game show.
Yes, he was. I hope they keep him off the booth until he improves.
Yeah,
but then again,
I think they need to make the post game shows like half an hour though, because I felt like it ended too short.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially if you're gonna build feuds like they did with Paige and Pac, and there was another thing that it was obviously with the Jericho stuff with a little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah, so now I know where that comes from now. Yeah,
I love that. Ooh, a little bit of the bubbly.
Imagine Otis was there.
That's what it sounded like, and that's why it's so funny, because it sounded like Otis Dozovic saying it. Tucky, a little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah. All right, so we first had the 21-woman casino battle royal. Is the winner of Rio versus Hikaru Shida for the inaugural AEW World Championship on October 2nd when they go to TNT. I'll just say who the competitors were first. The clubs were Chandra Royal, Leva Bates,
Leva Bates,
Fabi Apuch, I have no clue how to say that.
Just continue.
Priscilla Kelly, Nyla Rose.
So we'll start with this segment first. This is a fun segment. Leva Bates actually had a very innovative way to not be eliminated by using books. I don't know why, but it was like everyone like we've been criticizing the librarian since the inception of AEW, but
it sounds like it's just
for the actual gimmick. Yeah, it's like a rib, one, and two, the way they use the gimmick, it's not like she's really contending for the championship, one, and two, the way she kind of stopped herself from being eliminated early on, I liked.
Yeah.
I don't know what about it was, but I thought it was innovative and something unique and different.
Yeah.
And nothing overly offended me like the fucking buy-in Double or Nothing casino battle royal. This casino battle royal was far better than the men, in my opinion.
I had to rewatch it because the pizza and stuff had come when we were doing this, so I had to rewatch it. So I liked it. And then Nyla Rose just went on a tear with like with the clubs. Like she eliminated everybody. Like no one stood a chance against Nyla Rose with the club.
Nyla Rose was in there from the beginning and then eliminated everybody till the end.
Then we have the Diamonds. It was Penelope Ford.
Who shocked the hell out of me, by the way. We'll go over that quick. Penelope Ford's actually a really good worker.
Yeah.
Which shocked me. Like, because she actually was doing, like, wrestling moves. Because I thought she was just going to be a valet for, like, Janela. And
I heard they broke up.
I
heard they broke up in real life, so that's dead now. So.
Well, I know they broke up in real life, but I think they were going to do that story. Like, they were going to still do it as a storyline thing.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, we have Chazzy McKenzie, Sadie Gibbs, Big Swole, and Britt Baker. Yeah, that was a nice sequence.
Yeah, Swole looked good because she actually improved from the last time I saw Swole.
Yeah.
Because I remember I think I shat all over her in the Mae Young Classic because it was just like
Yeah.
she didn't really do much except for like a couple of moves, and it was just like the rest was just stupid dancing. Here she actually hit some wrestling maneuvers and like looked really good.
Yeah, she looked
and was entertaining. And who else was in there? Because I know there was a couple other people.
Britt Baker obviously looked good. I like.
Yeah, it's Britt Baker.
Yeah. Sadie Gibbs looked good.
Sadie Gibbs, I think, is the one. Wasn't that the one where Bea Priestley had a fucking altercation with backstage for no selling or some shit?
I believe so.
I think it was, yeah.
Then
so like she was good up until that bullshit.
Yeah.
So fuck you, Sadie Gibbs.
Then we have the Spades. You're gonna be pissed about this one, Tenau Dashwood, because.
Oh yeah, I'm pissed because everyone was like, "Oh, you can't pick them because they're Impact Wrestling contracted." Yeah, well, fuck that. Throw that out the window right now, please. Because she showed up here.
Ivelisse. So I'm assuming Lucha's dying because Ivelisse is like the last like original of Lucha, which kind of sucks. Bea Priestley, Brandy Rhodes, and Awesome Kong. I like that they, continued the storyline with Bea Priestley and Britt Baker, where Britt Baker like immediately went right after Bea Priestley. And,
I like that as well. Yeah, that's why I love this Battle Royal. This Battle Royal was actually a lot of fun. Yeah. I mean, Battle Royals are just Battle Royals, you know what I mean? At the end of you're going to get what you're going to get with them. But there were enough entertaining moments where I was like, I really, really liked it, and I enjoyed it, you know?
And then, they went into the ring, and they did a storyline where, Brandy Rhodes really didn't do much. She just kind of let Awesome Kong kind of protect her and do all the work. But then they have a fuck-up where,
Yeah, that might have been the only thing I don't like about it, but I made my stances because I think Brandy Rhodes should, honest to God, be a babyface.
Yeah, Brandy Rhodes.
It makes no sense. Here's the thing I don't understand, and I'm never going to understand this. You cannot have Cody be a babyface and then have Brandy be a heel, but then be babyface when she's with Cody. Yeah, it makes sense with MJF because MJF is the kiss-ass heel. That makes all the sense in the world. You can't do it with fucking Brandy because they're married.
Yeah. But yeah, Awesome Kong inadvertently takes out Brandy. But yeah, we got some nice sequences there. Then we had the Hosts, which was Allie, Nicole Savoy, Teal Piper, ODB, and Jazz.
Teal Piper was in here for way too short. That might have been the only other thing I didn't like.
Yeah, because they did stuff.
Got eliminated real quick, didn't she?
Yeah, because they did something, because they did like a thing for her, like, well, she actually had like a story on the Road to like series, and she didn't really do much, so that kind of sucked. But yeah, I like the suicide dive that I think I forget who did it, but someone did like a suicide dive and took everybody out. So that was quite nice. And ODB just I really like seeing that 4-way face-off with ODB, Nyla Rose, Awesome Kong, and Jazz. I hope they do a future match, whether it's on pay-per-view on television with that, because I really want to see that.
I just hope we get that Awesome Kong AsiaCon match at some point.
Yeah, I'm assuming she was supposed to be.
Maybe just to not risk anything bad, you should probably do that at like one of the TV shows in the main event. Just because it is Awesome Kong and Asia Kong, and both of them have pretty bad knees, and it would have to be a no holds barred.
And then the Joker. What's in the live reactions? A lot of people criticized that this was the Joker.
I really liked it.
Yeah,
because I had no idea Mercedes Martinez still wasn't with WWE.
Yeah.
So I was shocked to see her here. I thought I don't know if she's gonna stay with AEW. I hope she does after this performance.
She looks great, yeah.
But she looked great in here. She looked like a fucking fighter in here, just laying everybody out. And then, the only real momentum cutter for her was freaking Allie just giving her just wicked stiff like fucking corkscrew kick. And yeah, then it was down to the final four with, I think it was Mercedes Martinez, Bea Priestley, Nyla Rose,
and Britt Baker.
And that was the perfect final four. They absolutely should have had it.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Mercedes that got eliminated first. And then Bea, and then Bea was pissed off with Britt Britt Baker and held her by the arm, which had Nyla Rose dump her out to win the match. This was a fun battle royal. I think I rated it like 3.25 because I really enjoyed this like more than your typical battle royal.
I did too. Yeah, I gave it 4. I thought it was quite great. My only criticism is that I thought the camera work should have been better because we missed like a lot. Like we didn't see Brandy Rhodes get eliminated, and we didn't see like certain people get eliminated and stuff. And like I think there was a botch because I believe when ODB's like suit came out, they botched the countdown. I think because they didn't come out right away. So that was weird.
Yeah, right.
Like I feel like some people like Teal Piper should have had a little bit more of a shine. And like Allie, I think should have had a little bit more.
Yeah, like I feel like this would have been better. That's why I rated 3.25 because it was still a very entertaining battle royal. I think they need to do better with the battle royals. I think, and there is one. I think there's a valid criticism that even though it's kind of a bit blinded by hatred, but I actually agree with him here. Jim Cornette reviewed the show on his Jim Cornette Experience podcast. He said that the reason why the agents exist are so that you can agent the match accordingly, especially when it comes to like a battle royal, because then they could go over it with the camera people and they can get the proper shots necessary. That is sorely fucking needed for battle royals. That otherwise, for a thrown together kind of like call it on the spot battle royal, it was actually pretty decent. So that's where I was like, I knew this wasn't. It wasn't like a WWE battle royal or like I've seen indie battle royals that are like way better than this.
Yeah.
But like this was still fun and entertaining. I agree with Cornette there. I think they need to. Maybe not agents for their other matches because I like the unique feel that they don't have agents. They don't have bullshit script writers, whatever. I'm fine with that. But in the case of a battle royal, I do think somebody needs to agent them.
Yeah.
Like somebody like Dean Malenko or Arn Anderson or Billy Gunn or somebody back there needs to like agent it and then communicate it to the TV production people so that way they can get the proper shots necessary. They need to get better at that. Otherwise, that's my only critique, honest to God. And that's, at the end of the day, that's really just nitpick, I think. Yeah. It's a nitpick thing. But I can see where people are coming from that when it comes to the Battle Royal.
Then we had the next buy-in match. It was
I love this buy-in match.
Private Party versus Angelico and Jack Evans. This was great.
You could see our reactions on this. This was just balls to the wall, 100 miles an hour from the opening bell. These guys had a great pre-show match. Great way to cap off the pre-show. And it ended with Private Party winning. And then a heel turn from Angelico and Jack Evans because they are now 3-0. Which I think it was the right move. Uh-oh. Here we are. It's finally happened. On! Oh no! Technical difficulties, boys. There it is.
Yep.
Let's
right. See what happens. But yeah, they're now 3. Yeah, they're now. Well, in Angelico, I think you meant to say 0-3 because I think it's 3-0. Why would they?
I'm sorry. Yeah, 0-3, and they won.
But that would make no sense.
They turned heel, and it made sense a lot to turn them heel, especially after the hug, by the way. I really enjoyed that because it really, and by the way, everyone's like, they suckered them in and they look like geeks. No, they didn't. They didn't expect that because they just got a hug after a competitive match. If you're going to use that logic, then Shawn Michaels looks like a geek against Chris Jericho for doing it at 19.
Yeah.
So,
I should go through the win-loss records for people. Don't do
it with you're not doing it. Do not do it for the Battle Royal. We will be here forever.
Crap.
Do it for you could do it for this match. Private Party, I think, are like they're 2-2, I think. 2-2.
Nope.
Are they?
Nope.
Because they lost in the Battle Royal.
They lost in the Battle Royal. They lost the Triple Threat tag at Spider Fest in the buy-in.
Oh yeah, and then they lost.
then-
and then they lost in and that was it, right? So they're 2-1 now.
Yeah,
2-1. Or
No,
they have
1-2.
1 win. Yeah, 1 win, 2 losses, and then Angelico has Angelico and Jack Evans has 0 wins and 3 losses. So there you go. Hello?
Yeah, the one. Hold on, my Wi-Fi is being a bitch. Hold on.
Well, don't fuck with it, cause just move your laptop because then it might stop the recording.
Yeah, hold on.
But,
take over the review. Talk about.
Then we get to the next match, which is the 6-man tag between SCU and the Jurassic Express. I love this. I didn't expect the name at all coming out. This was just fun to watch. If you guys want to see our reactions, go ahead and see our reactions. The best part of the whole match was Luchasaurus doing a top rope tope suicide or tope con hilo, and also his comeback, because Luchasaurus is great and he's fucking fantastic. And if AEW should consider him a top star in that company, but after the last batch of performances he's had. That being said, SCU win against Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt. I believe they pinned Marco Stunt after the double best Meltzer ever, which is the BME into a Tombstone Piledriver, for the win. And then they shook hands and hugged, and it was a wonderful, wonderful 6-man tag. I gave this, I think I gave it a 4 and a half. What did I give it, Owen? Do you remember what I gave this match? I think it was like a 4.5.
I don't remember. I thought it was fun.
Look at our reactions.
Yeah. I give it
go
3
to my
3/4.
channel, youtube.com/jaybirdSide95. There you go.
I give it 3 3/4 due to the just because it was a fun opening match. So, and now SoCal Uncensored 2-0 and 6-man tag team action.
Before you continue, your camera has you like all wonky.
What do you mean by that?
Like look at you on the thing. You look all crooked.
That's because
I mean, that's you in real life anyway, but still.
That's because I have it on my bed with blankets because I haven't.
Oh, fair enough. All right, fine. Continue.
But yeah, SoCal Uncensored are now 2-0 in 6-man tag team matches, and individually, Christopher Daniels is, I believe, 2-1 because he didn't wrestle at Fight for the Fallen, and
no.
Kazarian and not SoCal Uncensored, but Scorpio Sky are 2-2 now because they lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is still fun. I love this match. Great way to open up the main portion of the show.
Then we had Pac versus Kenny Omega.
Love it. This match is every bit as good as you expected it to be. The really scary spots, obviously, were the moonsaults into the barricade and the tope suicidas, or tope con hilos that Omega hit, and they hit their ankle on the barricade because for some reason the barricade was so close to the ring this time around compared to All In, which I don't know what they did, but like they should go back to the way it was before.
But this is fantastic. Love the finish where it just came out of nowhere.
I rated this 5, which not to say the other matches were bad after this. I really enjoyed this match, and I was gonna rate it a 4 3/4 because it was so good, and then the finish happened. I rated it like a 5 because I did not see Kenny Omega putting over Pac like that the way he did.
I quite enjoyed because I don't even think I picked Pac.
I don't think a lot of people did. I think they picked Omega to win.
So now I believe Pac's 1-0 because do we technically count the match he had with Paige? Because that wasn't really like an AEW match really. So
no, that doesn't count. Yeah, so Pac is 1-0.
And then Omega is now he's I believe 2-3. No, because he lost to Chris Jericho.
He won against Kip Sabian. He won the Battle Royal, and he won that the Fatal 4-Way at
I'm talking about Omega. I'm talking about Omega.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about Paige.
Omega's lost to Chris Jericho.
He won the 6-man tag. He lost to Jericho, and he won against CIMA. So he is now 2-2.
2-2. And this match was just, like I said, fantastic. And I was wondering, what were they going to do to follow up this match? And I thought the match that followed it was the perfect match to follow it, where it's Jimmy Havoc versus Darby Allin versus Joey Janela in the Cracker Barrel Old Country Store match or whatever.
It's Cracker Barrel Clash.
Yeah.
Between these three psychopaths. I never thought I'd ever see barrels used as a weapon in wrestling, and I'm all the better for seeing it happen. This was so much fun.
I thought this was just like, let's just do like the most. I never thought I would see someone give a paper cut and enjoy it. I never thought.
Well, we didn't enjoy it. I wouldn't say we enjoyed it, but it was like that actually makes sense because paper cuts suck.
Jimmy Havoc got like duct tape to a chair and
they poured freaking tacks into their mouth. Like, you could see all of our reactions to all these maniacs on my channel. But the finish came when Darby Allin missed with the coffin drop with the barrel on his back, and it just exploded on impact on the steel steps. I thought he died. And then an acid rainmaker onto Joey Janela by Jimmy Havoc for the much needed win for Jimmy Havoc. I believe that makes Jimmy Havoc did he wrestle at Fight for the Fallen or no? I don't think he did.
Yeah, he's 1-3 because he.
So he's 1-3. Because he lost that 6-man tag opener, at Fight for the Fallen. So yeah, there was he won. He won his first match in AEW after losing 3 straight events.
Yeah.
So, good on him.
Darby Allin is 0-1-1 because he has a tie. So, and then Joey Janela is 0-2. Because technically the match.
Allen's lost 3 matches, so he's actually 0-1-3.
What do you mean?
Or 0-3-1, because he lost this match and the 6-man tag where he got pinned, and he lost against. Well, he didn't lose, but he.
There's a tie.
Oh yeah, so he's 0-2-1. I'm sorry.
Yes. And then Joey Janela is technically only 0-2 because the match with Jon Moxley is unsanctioned, so it doesn't count as a win or a loss. So
yeah, yep, Janela, I believe that's his only loss, right? Or no, he's 0-2, I think.
Yeah, everyone in this match was in that 6-man tag team match that was on the losing team at Fight.
Basically. So. Which by the way, I love how they actually built it to this match. By the way, where they were like on the build-up shows, like they were actually beating each other up because they felt like one costs the other.
Yes.
Although looking at this match, I really think that they should reform the Dark Order and have like Evil Uno as like the manager, and then maybe put Jimmy Havoc and Darby Allin in with Stu Grayson.
That'd be awesome, yeah. And
they look more like a Dark Order kind of faction to me.
This match is 3 stars, but it's probably like the best 3-star match I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, because it was a fucking clinic. I mean, it was too much fun. Yeah. It may be 3 stars, but it was still so fun. It was fucking great.
Then we had the Dark Order versus Best Friends, where the winner got the bye. And
I thought I was gonna hate this match, and holy shit, did Evil Uno shut me the fuck up, huh?
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, and a lot of people are like, the gimmick doesn't work, and there is some truth to that. I think it could use some tweaks, but I'm sure they're gonna tweak it. Yeah. And even if they don't, we'll see what happens. Nothing can be told. I went in here thinking it's their gimmick. I'm afraid that Evil Uno was going to do crappy in this, because he didn't do particularly well at Fight for the Fallen.
Well, at least Evil Uno. Stu Grayson did, but...
Yeah, Evil Uno didn't do too good. This match, however, was a completely different story. He actually did... This guy did a rolling senton from the top rope, and my God, I felt bad for Chuck Taylor taking that fucking thing on almost to his head.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like this guy was doing some shit that I didn't think was even possible for a guy his size.
Like the finish where you had the minions or whatever they are get involved and take out Beretta, and then
yeah, a lot of people didn't like that. I didn't mind it so much.
Yeah.
Like if you have the minions, use them to your advantage for the heel team.
and
And
then
then they had the fatality, which is a gory bomb, reverse blockbuster combo finish for the win.
yeah.
And then
I thought the match was really good too. I give it 3.5. Did what it needed to do. So
yeah, agreed, 3.5. And then after that, the lights go out, and you thought they were going to disappear, and then all of a sudden, Orange Cassidy's in the ring. I'm like, oh no, he's going to play kick these guys, and no. I know, I'll be done soon. But after that, they did this thing. He did a suicide dive, and he actually did it really well with his hands in his pockets, which is actually impressive. And that was it.
A lot of like his gimmick where he just doesn't give a shit. But I'm gonna give it a chance. I think this could be something. Like,
I don't like the play kicking of the shin. If they slowly start straying away from it, then I'll ultimately accept it. If they do the whole thing where it's like he starts carrying and slowly but surely, and then it's like all of a sudden he has a motivation, I will firmly accept him. And right now, the way they're using him is perfect. I like the way they're using him, where he just appeared like out of nowhere in a segment like this, did one tope suicida, and then they did the best friends hug with him in between. I love that. I thought that was actually great. The crowd popped huge.
The only thing I don't like about his gimmick is, like, you know, it kind of didn't make sense for him to be in the Battle Royal.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, you know, why would he not care to become the first AEW World
I don't think, you know what it is? I don't think he was officially in the Battle Royal.
He just showed up?
Yeah, I don't think he was ever in the Battle Royal. And if he was, it was news to me, and it was news to everybody else.
Yeah.
They did not explain that too well.
Then we had like an underrated match of the weekend. It was Riho versus Hikaru Shida.
A lot of people don't like this match, but I really enjoyed it because I'd never seen Joshi wrestling too much. I've seen that 6-woman tag, and I really enjoyed that, other than the 2 botches. But even then, the botches actually made the referee look awesome.
Yeah.
Aubrey Edwards held that 2 up like, motherfucker, you may have rung that bell, but I have the authority here. I love that. So
I like this match a lot. I like this match a lot, though. They really put on a clinic, and I just think it gets lost in the shuffle too because there was so many great matches this weekend too. Riho won. I'm actually fine with that.
Because it's gonna be Riho versus Nyla Rose. It's gonna be like a David versus Goliath match.
And it makes sense because they tied in that Riho pinned Nyla Rose at Fyter Fest, so that they have that storyline element there.
Smart by them.
And then I forgot the Dark Order's win-loss record's now 2-0, and the Best Friends is now 2-1 because they didn't.
Yeah, because this is their only loss.
Yep. And
actually, no. Hold on. Didn't they? Weren't they in that triple threat tag or no? I thought they were.
Which one?
The one at Fight for the Fallen.
No.
Right. Okay.
I
thought they were. That's why I just want to make sure. But yeah, cool, awesome.
And Riho is 3-1. And Hikaru Shida is 1-1. So there you go.
Hikaru Shida, I would have taken her a little bit more seriously just because of the weapon of choice she brought to the ring. And you could do like a whole referee distraction angle where she could use it against Nyla Rose, but that's just me.
Yes. Then we had one criticism I have of this show is I don't think they should have put like the 3 big matches like right in a row because I think that kind of hurt the main event because the crowd was pretty not dead but like they were gassed.
I don't even know if they were dead. I think they were just intently watching on who became the first champion.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people take that into consideration. I think they knew what they were going to get with Jericho and Adam Page. And even then, they still shocked me. And that's why a lot of people are like, you're out of your mind for giving this an S rank. But I'm like,
yeah.
But everything kind of over-delivered in my head. Like, I put an expectation on each match and each person. And then they topped it, like, unbelievably. So that's why I gave it the S rank. I stand by it. Because it's like, I had an expectation going in, and I was left more impressed by the people involved. So, that's just my logic, And
Then
by the way, that's a guy not getting paid by the company.
Yeah. Then we had Cody with a mystery manager versus Sean Spears with Tully Blanchard. Cody, Diamond Dallas Page.
These entrances were awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, there is actually one more rant on this because a lot of people forgot about it, but I didn't forget about it, and a lot of people are gave Cody and Brandy shit for this. Was with what happened with Pharaoh. People think that he's a bad dog owner for doing what he did, because once the power would go off and he looked all scared, they should have brought him in. Keep in mind, even though he was scared and they brought him up to the stage, which may have been they still brought him right back after they finished their segment on the stage.
Yeah.
So what is the problem here?
Especially they didn't expect the fire because Cody didn't.
No, yeah. The pyro guy set off the wrong effing pyro. So why is he getting shit for that? Blame the pyro guy. Don't blame Cody.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just like, yeah, and you know what? They already learned from their mistake too. They already said they're not going to do it again. We're going to move on from it.
Yeah.
Because, when you're a human, you learn.
Yeah.
And they learn from shit like this. And that's the problem, is fucking outrage culture. I swear to God, bro. Like, it's one thing to be angry about dumb booking with wrestling. It's another thing to get angry when you don't know the full context of the fucking story. And they immediately were like, outcast you. And then even then, it's like, even if it was a legitimate mistake that they never should have done, they still learn from it. It's like you can't learn from mistakes anymore.
Yeah, it's not.
And I'm sick of that culture, dude. Like,
this was my match of the weekend. I think because the storyline intrigued me, and for some odd reason, I just like old school wrestling. I think, and this just had every element of that. And I just love that this. John Tuddy pointed this out. If this match had happened in WWE, they would have had him go for chain grapples right away. But this match didn't do that. They went right into a fight right away.
It was a grudge feud, and a lot of people are like, "Why did Tully Blanchard follow Arn Anderson to the back? That was dumb, dude. It's always 4 horsemen first.
Yeah.
You know how long these two were fucking together as a tandem for, in the 4 horsemen."
Yeah,
the original incarnation of him, of course he was going to wonder what the hell was Arn doing.
Arn Anderson
makes a lot of sense storyline-wise. That's all you need to know.
Got a huge part with the Spine Buster. MJF, who ended up managing Cody, was awesome here.
Of Jim Ross with the greatest call, the way he called out Arn Anderson when he came out. That was amazing. He hit the spine on the pine. That was amazing. And Cody, every commentator was losing their minds.
Cody won. A Wrestling Observer criticism I saw was they didn't call for DQs when they were whipping each other with the belt. It's kind of like because AEW is being lenient towards the rules. I
think it's like 3 hits and then you're DQ'd or something with a small foreign object like that. If it's like a steel chair, you call for the DQ. If it's like a weight belt or a leather belt, they usually 3 is the limit before they just ultimately throw the match out, especially with high stakes like the either the world title match or and a grudge match like this.
Yeah.
Who ultimately was going to be the number 1 contender for the AEW world title, by the way,
And it looks like too I like how the wrestlers are working around it too, even Pac and Omega, they just bounce each other off a chair that just happened to be there, so he's not really physically using the chair. And same thing here, where Cody does the disaster kick with the chair, he's not using the chair. So Cody won. We said that Sean Spears should win, but I feel like even though Cody won, I feel like
the way he won, I don't think this feud's over. And honestly, it was such a well booked match. If you feel like you have to have a serious contender for Jericho's title, I didn't even consider that Cody was the strongest competitor to go for the AEW title because of his win-loss record in kayfabe. It actually makes a lot of sense for him to go back there. So the way they did it was Sean Spears didn't look weak in defeat because his manager left because he was confused about why Arn did what he did.
Yeah.
And that was a great way to book themselves out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you book. That's how you book. Like the way we book is very similar to how AEW books. They have to have a winner versus losers. There's no way around it. But the way they do it is anybody could have won this match, but one thing kind of screwed it up from happening, and it didn't look like they were stupid for doing so.
Yes.
So that being said.
Yeah, now Cody's record's 2-1-1, and Shawn Spears is 1-2. So there you go.
Or Shawn Spears.
Huh?
Or Shawn Spears. He'll bounce back eventually.
At least he has got to win.
Actually, you forget Cody's actually is he 2-1-1? No, he's now 3-1-1 because he won against Dustin. He's got 3 wins under his belt.
I'm including Dustin. He won against Dustin.
And then he won against the Young Bucks.
No, he lost.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he put them over.
Yeah. Then speaking of them, we had the ladder match, or what's it called? The Escalante de la Muerte for the AAA World Tag Team titles between the Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks.
Yes.
This was a great match. I don't.
Insane.
Yeah.
So obviously we forgot to give the rating for the match for Cody. I think we gave that 5 stars.
I did, yes.
I think I gave it maybe 5. Oh, maybe this match was the best match of the weekend then, because I think I gave this 5.5.
Yes.
On the reactions, you guys can tell me if I'm stupid or not. Go and watch the reactions and tell me how wrong I am for having to remember my own rating.
Yeah. But yeah, this match I thought was like a nice ladder match. I have some issues with it.
There's only like one. The double tope suicidas were like the only one where it was like opposite people.
Yeah.
And they were like, "You're gonna do it? Yeah, I'll do it too." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, you're like.
Cut them off the match.
I still stand by the stance with John that I think the Mexican Destroyer through the table should have been the finish, because
even with those, I still give this like a 4 3/4 probably. I think I may have given it a 5 in the moment, but I'd still give it like a 4 3/4 if I had to think.
I gave it 4.5. So
because this was just too good. This is just too good of a match to like not rate it over 4.
I think too the match at Double or Nothing was better. I thought it was better than but this match was still great. Like, I'm glad, too, the Lucha Bros got put over because I was worried the Young Bucks were going to win.
And at the end of the day, they get to retain the AAA tag titles before they're ultimately going to drop them before they come to TNT, which I know they're probably going to do. I don't know who they're going to drop them to, but...
Funny thing is, afterwards, we see 2 masked men attack Lucha Brothers and the Young Bucks, and the 2 masked men we find out are Tito Santana and Ortiz.
Tito Santana and Ortiz, who are the second incarnation of LAX, which is why I don't think they're going to use their
well, I don't think they can.
The LAX names, because I think it's not Impact that owns them, because they signed a deal where you can take your gimmick elsewhere, but I think it's actually Conan that owns the name LAX.
Oh, there you go. But yeah, I'm happy that in AEW they recently just left and they teased they were gonna go to either WWE and AEW. I think they made the right choice. I think AEW
100%, because they're gonna have bangers with Best Friends. They'll have bangers with the Dark Order. They'll have bangers with they'll have bangers with the Lucha Brothers for sure, because they already proved that in Impact. They'll have bangers with the Young Bucks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're definitely gonna have. They're just going to have great match after great match.
And actually, on a AAA show, they're facing the Lucha Bros for the AAA tag titles, which is funny. So there you go.
I guess that's when they'll drop them then.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Now the win-loss record, the Lucha Bros are now 2-2, and the Young Bucks are 3-1. So there you go. Then we have the main event for the inaugural AEW World Championship: Chris Jericho versus Hangman Adam Page. And Adam Page actually came out with a horse, which I didn't think was going to happen, because they had teased it on being the Elite and everything, saying we can't do that because the building won't let us, and he actually did it. So that was quite awesome. And this match
was just such a great match. A lot of people don't like it, but I liked it. I really thought that this match was and everyone's like, there's not a grudge match feel to it. That changes when the fucking discus lariat happens.
Yeah, I really
like. You also gotta remember, even though it is a grudge match, it's also a world title match.
Yeah.
You can't go in there with a hot head. Like, put it this way: in a real fight, let's take Frank Mir versus Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar's been insulting his family for some reason or whatever the fuck, and to hype up the fight, and Mir took offense to it. What do you think is going to get over more in a real fight? Thinking about his strategy instead of going in there like a hothead? Or going in there like a hothead and getting fucking speared by Brock Lesnar and he'll fucking ground and pound you the whole fight?
Yeah.
That's where I always make that argument. Everyone's like, well, this is a grudge match. That shouldn't matter. It's not as big of a grudge match as you think. It's definitely a grudge match, but it's not to the level of like where Cody and Shawn Spears was, because this is a world title match. This is the first ever world champion. They're not going to go in there and they're just going to like beat each other down. Of course they're going to have a tie up to start the match.
Yeah.
That's where it makes sense. That's where it ultimately makes sense. Unless it's a feud that's like actually bigger than the title and it happens to be for the title, you should always book that title match like that. Like, they should be thinking about their strategies no matter what the other guys said. Because that's what would happen in a real fight. On top of that, too, some of the spots in this matches were fucking insane. Apron shooting star press counted into a code breaker. Then a freaking discus elbow that opened up Jericho.
Which similar to how that was revenge for Jericho doing the same thing to him at Fight for the Fallen.
I love that. A lot of people were like, "Why are you doing that? He's not a sympathetic figure." And I'm like, "It's not supposed to be sympathetic. This guy got his eye busted open by Jericho, and Jericho got a receipt for it. That was the story they told, and it worked brilliantly. This match was great.
Yeah,
I thought it wasn't great. It wasn't as great as the other two matches. Still doesn't mean it wasn't a great match.
Yeah." Jericho wins with the Judas effect when Adam Page goes for his spinning discus lariat. And a lot of people are trashing this, too, because to some people that turned like a thumbs up show into like a thumbs in the middle show based on...
No. Hi, Steve. I don't give a shit. I already told him how I felt about it in the fucking chat. I don't care. You can say his name. Hi, Steve. I don't get that, man. You can't let one move. And by the way, everyone's like giving him shit because the last two Judas. This one was like the best he hit because it was out of nowhere. He brutalized him with that elbow. It looked like and Adam Page sold that thing like it was death.
I don't get why people don't like that move. Like, that's a brutal move. Like, it's a spinning elbow to the head. Like,
yeah, especially if you hit it properly. Like this time, and this time Jericho did. It was like the best one he's done so far.
Yeah.
And you got to remember still, he's perfecting the move as well. And he actually perfected it here. I thought this is the best one he hit. And it was out of nowhere, and it won the belt.
Yeah.
They protected his finish. His new finish. And he won the AEW title. And everyone, and by the way, Steve loved the bullhammer elbow. Especially when it was out of nowhere, and he hit it in anti-air, or when a guy was running off the ropes and he hit it, like, out of nowhere. Yeah. What is the difference between the bullhammer and the Judas effect?
I think the Judas effect is better.
I agree.
Yeah.
But yeah, this show was awesome.
Chris Jericho wins, which makes sense, like we talked about before, because he's going to win it. Yeah.
Because no disrespect to Adam Page, but he's not on the level of Chris Jericho, and Jericho is going to bring eyes to that product, and he's going to bring eyes to the actual talent. And then whoever is over enough to beat Jericho is automatically going to get the stardom rub from Jericho.
Yeah. Afterwards, too, he on the post show, which was hosted by Alex Marvez and Excalibur, Jericho celebrated with the title. He's talking trash to the Young Bucks. I like to, like, no one was there, like, celebrating with him, and then he comes over. And this is where he says it. Like, you want to do the catchphrase that he said?
A little bit of the bubbly.
That was awesome.
That's two new catchphrases, by the way. That's not his only one. It's a little bit of the bubbly and Le Champion.
Yeah. It's great stuff.
Jericho is the master of catchphrases. I'm going to do a whole joke where it's Jericho with the list at WCW with the 1,004 holds, but instead it's 101 catchphrases.
Yeah, you should definitely do that.
Because that dude has a catalog of catchphrases.
But yeah, I this was a fantastic show. Best show of the weekend. I don't think it was quite perfect. I think I enjoyed, Double or Nothing more, but it's easily an A show. I gave it an A. Fantastic show.
The reason I give it an S, and a lot of people like, because that's not going to happen all the time, but I gave it an S because I had expectations in the show. Like, I'm not gonna like this, or I'm not gonna like this guy, or this girl, or this battle royal, and every single thing kind of just proved me wrong.
Yeah.
And that's why I gave it the S rank, and that's why I stand by it.
Can I tell you too what I'm liking about AEW right now? This is what WWE, we have to like fight for them to do the right thing. AEW is just doing the right thing.
It's just doing the right thing, and I could be a fan again. And that's what I love about AEW. I don't have to fight. NXT, it's the same thing. On regular NXT, I don't have to fight, and here I don't have to fight, and it's just like,
you don't have to come on here and continuously say they should have done this, they should do this, like do this, and it's gonna make you money. Like they just know, they just know.
They knew Jericho needed to win here to get eyes on the product. They knew also that they needed to give the they had to give what was it, the Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers, the AAA tag titles on the line, because it was going to do good business for AAA as well as bring them back to AEW, and it was going to be like a nice cycle. Like, they know what they're doing. A lot of people give them credit, don't give them credit.
The Unbucks and the Lucha Bros over the
world title, their first world championship. Like, I'm just glad they're smart about this, and I'm glad you got a guy who's, you got level heads there like Dean Malenko and Arn Anderson, and I feel like even Tony Khan's a level head as well in that sense.
Yeah.
Like to kind of combat that, like, because we're all selfish individuals at the end of the day. That's just kind of human nature. But it's good to have the business side where they're like, listen, do business right, and you got to do it this way. And that's why the JR is there, and Arn Anderson's there, and Dean Malenko's there, and all these other guys are there, because it really is like a wrestling inclusive brand, and like everybody's opinion on that show matters, and you can tell like that there's no selfishness here.
Yeah,
they're just trying to do what they think is best at that time, and that's what I felt like here, is that they knew what they had to do. They knew, and people that don't like Kenny Omega because they thought this was just going to be like, he was going to just get win after win after win. He lost to Pac, and not only lost to Pac, he passed out to Pac.
Yeah.
And it's just like, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry, and I don't have to be in fear. And I can't say the same for, main roster. I never have, and I haven't for years. And I'm kind of skeptical with NXT in a sense. With AEW, I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Because I know it's going to be done correctly.
Even with AEW too, even the things that like people hate, there's something for everybody in AEW. So
yeah, it's like it really is all inclusive. There's nothing terrible about what they're doing. And by the way, another business move that people are hating, and I know it's controversial when I say this, but I'm honestly, I think it's a smart ass business move. They had Nyla Rose win the Women's Battle Royal, and a lot of people are like, well, she's a transgender, she shouldn't win, and all this stuff. And I'm like, first off, dude, you know how many women take fucking steroids?
Yeah.
In the fucking Olympics, and you're telling me they don't have an advantage? And you're telling me that people that feel that they are women that go through an actual transitional phase can't go and compete in the Olympics as a woman? Fuck off. That's one thing. And second off, this is wrestling. I don't think there's anything wrong with Nyla Rose being the winner of that Battle Royal and going on to fight for the AEW World title and probably winning it. That being said, the haters that don't like that, all they're going to do is give them more publicity because it's going to be a fucking news story. I guarantee you the minute Nyla Rose wins that, it's going to get them a lot of mainstream attention, which is why they went with this, because it is kind of controversial, even though it shouldn't be. But that being said, they're smart for doing so. This is why they know what they're doing. They know what will sell. They know what's in the seats.
We got to talk about a news story that came up this week. Chris Jericho got his AEW World Championship.
Yes.
was hysterical. Also, Pac is challenging Adam Page again, and they're actually going to have the match in Full Gear. And the next pay-per-view is Full Gear on November 7th. There you go. That's the other news.
It's not official yet, but we're assuming that's where it's going. So.
That's definitely going there. But anyway, that being said, Jericho lost his belt because the limo company were idiots and lost his fucking title because they switched out the wrong bag at the airport and got the wrong bag because the airport people were idiots. And whoever was at the airport decided to steal the belt until he decided to just leave it on the side of a road somewhere, and Tallahassee Police Department found it. However, as funny as that is, I'm going to tell you the real story. That's basically the real story. Limo company was idiot. Airport security was an idiot. And, Jericho lost his belt because they were stupid. That being said, Jericho's story of events is he launched a worldwide investigation with the best agents in the world, and they recovered his title. That's the kayfabe story. They're going with it, and I love that he's that much of a heel that he won't even give the police department any credit whatsoever for finding the title. Great on you, Jericho. And he's using a little bit of the bubbly as a catchphrase. Brilliant. Watch those videos by Jericho where he's in the hot tub and then in his mansion. They're great.
I think too, they're gonna turn it into a work now, which is great.
But
and,
we're not done because I have my own version of events, and I'm about to read them all for you. You know what these are, Owen.
I need to read the whole thing, but yes,
I shall read it for you. Hold on 1 second. I just need to get to the actual chat. I believe it's on the Wrestling Rundown chat.
It's only going to take you a while to find it.
Not as long as you would think.
Oh.
Where did one of them go? One of them fucking... Oh. Okay, that's weird. Okay, here we go. So, I you know what? I'm just going to save these in the proper order because apparently the group chat on Facebook decided to be a dick when I looked through the photos of the chat. Now that I have it in the right order, here we go. This is my version of events that happened. Breaking news, okay? The AEW World Championship that Chris Irvine, better known as Chris Jericho, won at All Elite Wrestling's pay-per-view event, All Out, was stolen in a limo and heading to Tallahassee when the professional wrestler was on his way back to his home in Florida. However, this limo swapped out the wrong bag and the title somehow went missing. A security guard who was on duty at the limousine shop saw a man who was looking old, but in his words, tried to look young and added a lot of just for men. The suspect was later identified as Vincent Kennedy McMahon, better known as Mr. McMahon, who has now been arrested for grand larceny. He was observed taking the AEW belt by breaking into the limo trunk with a crowbar, pipe, and chain. These are also very similar to his props on his men's fitness magazine covers, okay? Vince was reportedly visiting his summer home in Daytona, Florida. Tallahassee and Daytona police went to his residence, and Vince would not let the officers search into his home despite having a warrant. This led to the police officer, known as Deputy Bulk Bogan, to drop the big boot on the door. Vince, after resisting arrest for a lengthy period, was then brought down to the ground and arrested on site. In what was a slobber knocker of a struggle between the two. Another fellow officer found the world title placed into the refrigerator, very similar to how former World Wrestling Entertainment ex-employee Phillip Brooks, better known as CM Punk, did the same with Vince's top championship in an angle. While being loaded into the car, the news sites already caught wind and filmed him exiting his home with this officer. Vince McMahon then screamed at the top of his lungs, "It's me, Chris! It was me! All along, Chris!" One can only imagine Vince McMahon was worried about All Elite Wrestling program set to debut on Turner Network Television on October 2nd. This was an attempt to sabotage them before the big show.
Vince McMahon is set to stand trial on September 25th for his crimes, a week before AEW shows up on TNT. This will be the first time Vince stood trial since June of 1994 during the infamous steroid scandal. One can only imagine if he will wear a comical neck brace this time around. In other news, here's President Trump arguing for a wall again.
What? That's it?
That's it.
Did you come up with that yourself, too? Dude, if only you could have sent that to Kayfabe News, you could have.
I actually wrote in the status. I said, "P.S. Hire me for Kayfabe News."
Because you know Simon works for Kayfabe News now, right?
Simon Miller?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking hysterical. I might actually send that to him and be like, "Hey, yo, post this. You get full credit."
Yeah, so that's quite
oh shit. So there you go. That's my version of events.
We're gonna talk about this isn't gonna be the last AEW talk before they debut. Because Chris Dodd, we feel bad for him, hasn't been able to do any of the AEW reviews. We're gonna make sure he can be on. We're gonna do a state of the AEW address. So,
are we all gonna be there for the state of AEW address or no? Because I would like to be there for that, actually.
Yeah, I guess we can. Yeah, well,
what day?
I haven't decided yet. It depends on
Give me a time when you find out.
It's definitely gonna be before October 2nd.
Okay. So this is way down the line then.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So, basically though, I want to try have like Chris Dodd on, John Tuddy if he can be on, like Steve.
Yeah.
Like if you could be on, like great, but if you can't, because you were on every review, so we kind of know your stance. So.
Yeah. True.
But we'll go through like everyone on the rosters, like win-loss record and such, and all that great stuff. But yeah,
we'll figure it out, obviously. But yeah, this has been the weekend of Pro Wrestling Review. I'm gonna probably go more into depth, especially on the New Japan side, because I know a lot of people are like, "Where's New Japan?" Don't worry, it'll be on my channel. I'll plug it in the plugs.
Well, plug it now. Because unless you don't want to plug it, that could happen someday. So
I'll plug it.
Yeah.
You guys can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/user/jhebertside95. That's also my Twitter handle @jhebertside95. That's JHEBERTSIDE95. We will be reviewing these shows that we just reviewed here on the rundown with Mike, with Michael X, KCG, and Mike Nikos. They will all be with me, my cohorts, if you will. Well, Mike's more really the host of the show, but I just kind of edit it for him. But still, you get the gist of it. We will be going over New Japan Royal Quest, Cardiff, and the fucking travesty of that show, and All Out, which was the best show of the weekend. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about NXT. We're going to be talking about MLW, and we're going to be talking about all the news from the independents of professional wrestling. So that's going to be a completely loaded episode. Make sure you guys stay tuned in for that. And on top of that, make sure you check out Weymouth Youth Wrestling. Even though we're not really posting as much right now, I am going to be posting up the promo packages and theme songs. Next week they'll just be going up in order. So make sure you check that out. That is youtube.com/user/WYWPride. And make sure you turn on the post notification bell to receive all notifications when we upload to those two channels.
All right. So as for my stuff, you could check out, the CM Brothers YouTube channel where me and James have done rundown episodes. The most recent ones before this one episodes. We never said which episode this was. It's episode 166. We forgot to. So yeah, episodes 164 and 165 are on there. CM Brothers is coming up to 400 videos, so that would be exciting. And yeah, I'm not doing a tribute video. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not doing that. I mean, that's gonna happen someday, but I'm not, doing. I just literally made one. I'm not doing that again. But yeah, also you can check out my Red versus Blue reviews, season 4, and the miniseries we just have. That should be up there, and then. We have Owen the Talkinator, where today, unless I forgot to upload it, me and my cousin reviewed SpongeBob Season 2 episodes, I think it's 15 through 18. But it's really tough to know because Season 2 comes out of order, so that doesn't help us. And you can check out this channel because tomorrow there'll be another Wrestling Rundown episode 167 where me and Chris Dodd will be talking about all the main roster stuff. And we'll be doing a retro wrestling review series where me, James Hebert, and Chris Dodd will be talking about NXT, the first episode that ever aired in Full Sail, June 20th, 2012. I will say, James, it's still a good show, but it's not the NXT that you're gonna be like. It's still good, but it's not the NXT.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be like it's WWE 2012.
Yeah, so
I know.
So then also check out too. I recently just posted another video of me talking about the history of the 24/7 Championship Part 2. So there's that. We did the channel update video. So if you want to see, James explain stuff in layman's terms again, it's always pretty damn great.
I have to finish my layman's terms because I forgot about one part of the layman's terms, and you have to be Chris Dodd when I finish.
Okay.
I forgot to mention this part on the War series because I realized I explained retro and how retro works. Once you review that one show, you do the same process for the other show you see, which is also on demand, which is also on the network you see, and then you compare with yet again the camera and the microphone, and there you go.
I don't get it. I'm not. I like how I don't get it.
Is your head broken? Is your head broken?
I came
Do
up
I need
with
to knock on it?
I came up with it and I don't get it.
God damn it, Owen. How dare you? I will knock on your head. I will make sure somebody's home.
I don't know if we're gonna review the shows though, because that would kind of defeat the purpose of doing the retro. Like we might do something else, because that kind of defeat. Because if we do
just what are the pros and cons?
Yeah. Because I did the first episode, so I think pretty much I'm gonna be watching Double or Nothing like at least like 4 times in my life, because I have to watch it again for.
Hey, at least it's a good show.
Yeah, I know. I have to watch.
At least Takeover 25 is also a good show. I still have to watch that for my pilot episode. Christ. I gotta do that.
I'm not looking forward to watching Coda again, though. So that
ain't happening. Fuck that.
All right, though, but we're just rambling, so we're done. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow.